Hello, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? What a long day for me. So I lose power about 4:30 yesterday, and it's out, and it's doesn't come back at night. So I'm worried. I gotta charge my phone. How am I going to work tomorrow? Because I work on a computer here since I work out of the house. So I'm a little bit worried. I go to the club. It's open, but the pool's not open, but I can ride the bike. So I go there last night because I'm like, what do I do? It's 7 o'clock. I can't do anything here. I don't want to open the fridge and freezer, and I can't watch the TV. So I'm kind of like scratching my head. So I can watch my phone and my laptop. So I'm sitting there, okay. That's about 8 o'clock. I run to the club and I charge my laptop and I charge my phone because my alarm is set, and this is a 9-hour day today. So I wake up, no power. So I run to the club, get there by 8:30. Now I'm going to work till 5:30. So it's a longer day, and waiting for power to come on. Now I join a meeting. I'm in a meeting for 2 hours at the club, which was fine. It was a good meeting. And then I go to the restaurant, I go to Coney and eat with my laptop. So I'm working as I'm eating. I didn't want to come home because I don't want to start opening my fridge, well, mostly my fridge, because I don't know how long the power's out. And so fortunately, after lunch, I go home and I says, I have enough power in my laptop, so I'm going to be able to work till 5:30 with whatever I have, and then we'll play it by ear. The electric company said it would be back on tonight, or it's just at 7:27. An old card game I used to play. I hated the game. It was so stupid. It was all luck. I hate luck games. Anyway, so so I come home. Okay, I'll work. It's like 2 o'clock. I'll work till 5:30, and then we'll see if my computer dies. If I have to, I'll go back to the club and charge everything. And fortunately, I come home, I see lights on the driveway and at the entrance, and I go, okay, perfect. The lights are back. I come in, the lights are on. I see a lot of stuff kind of melted in the freezer because I had some ice cream in there that melted a little bit. I had steaks that you could see kind of thawed a little, but they were still frozen, and then there's frost on them from refreezing, but I'm okay. As long as they don't thaw. But once you pull the steak out and it thaws, you got to cook it. You can't put it back in the freezer, and you can't cook it and put it back in the freezer. You'll get very violently ill. So with that said, so I'm very happy I got power again. And when I think about it, it was only out for a day. It was out from 4:30 till like 2 o'clock. Now, if you know, that's like when you're unemployed. If you know you're only going to be out for a week, you go ahead and keep spending. But I always am very cautious spending when I'm not working until I go back to work. I don't want to go on a vacation or until our goal goes up. So I try to be careful with that. And that's how I live my life. I'm always kind of careful. The girls, oh, let's go on vacation. Well, let's wait till I get back. That's why in Barcelona, I wasn't working, but I was getting Social Security, so I could afford the trip. But the ironic part was I send Jenna home. Well, she sends herself home Monday, and in the cab on the way back, I get the call that I got the job. So instead of celebrating the whole week with Jenna, she goes back to fucking Ukraine, and I'm sitting there. I should have got a girl there because this is, ridiculous that she runs home. Now she wants to meet again, and I'm like, well, we'll see. Now for some reason she's playing tennis. Okay, so let's understand this. You're in the middle of a war, but you're playing tennis every day now, and you don't even know how to play. Now she's asking me, can you buy me a racket and tennis balls? And I'm like, you're in a war. You don't know how to play. Why the fuck are you learning tennis? And it's hot there. And she's got her stroke, and she needs to eat because she lost 4 kilograms on the train, the 2-day train from Berlin. But this is how we view wars, right? To me, I'm thinking it's World War II and the Russians and the Germans are bombing each other. She's in the war and she, yeah, I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to the market. I'm going to go see my son. I'm with the baby. And then, by the way, I'm going to go play tennis. I went to the lake. I went riding my, I'm like, what kind of war? Kind of war are we having here? So it's just the perception of the war from our side. Oh my God, there must be just huge bombings going on in Ukraine. And the reality is, I'm playing tennis today. She shows me a tennis court, out in a park or something. And it's like, so I don't want to kill that. If you want to go play tennis and that makes you happy, keeps you busy, fine. I says, I can play tennis, but I'm a much better golfer. I don't know how my back and feet would take tennis, but I could play for a little bit. I can probably play for a half hour and I'd see how my back's doing. But the key to tennis, I was never a tennis player. I don't know how to serve. I don't understand the concept of serving because when the ball's up, you kind of hit it sideways. You don't hit it straight. But I play baseball, so I'm hitting it straight. I play golf, so you roll your wrist. I don't know what the fuck you're doing when you're serving the tennis ball. You throw it up. How the hell are you supposed to hit it like on an angle to get it over the net? It doesn't make any sense. But all the other shots, if you were to hit it to me, I play it like racquetball. I'm very good at racquetball. I'm not an A. I'm like a C. Like I can return everything, but I can't crack it out. And so therefore, when I'm playing tennis, I don't know how to play tennis, but I know how to play. So I play it as if I'm playing racquetball. I see the ball, I hit it over and I do it really well. Both-handed, I can go backhand, forehand. I just don't have any idea how to serve. And, but I don't care enough to know. I don't really want to be a tennis player. I always like golf much more. It's chess to checkers, right? Tennis is checkers, golf is chess. And I prefer the challenging games. I prefer the games you have to think about, and you don't think in tennis. It's very mundane game. Hit it where he ain't, and figure out where he's going to hit it, and you bait him, and you just get it over the net. Okay, yeah, well, that's good. I don't really care. If she wants to play, I'm going to support her, but maybe I'll play with her, but I'd rather play golf where you got to hit long shots, you got to hit short shots, you got to avoid the water, you got to avoid the sand, you got to avoid the trees, you got to know where to lay up, and you got to know how to putt up the hill is what you're looking for. So it's a 1,000 times harder game, which I like the challenge, and I'm very good at it when I'm healthy. Anyway, so talking about chess briefly, and we'll get into it. So I'm watching the girl again on chess, and she plays a game with some guy who's a grandmaster, and she's with the 5-minute clock and moving all the moves quickly. And I ask her, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'll show you what I asked her. It's very clear what I'm doing. I'm teaching you how to pick football. I'm teaching you. Let's see if I got it. I must not have put it as a like. Let's see if it's in history. Well, it should be in history. Let's see. Okay, it's this one. I'm salty. I'm not going to play it because it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so how are you feeling?
Okay, we don't give a fuck. So let's look at the professor's comments. Now, this is how I'm analytical. This is how an INFJ thinks. This is how a professor thinks. I think very logically. So she has this where she's playing this guy, and this is my response. And I will read it. I'll let you read it a little bit. Of course, she never responds to me. She doesn't have the balls to respond to somebody asking her a legitimate question. Okay, so she's playing the guy, and I go, so what's the point of your video? Are you trying to teach? You do a terrible job going through your thought process. I don't really need to watch for entertainment. This is as boring as tennis. If you're going to show this for education purposes, then explain what the fuck is going on, your strategy, and slow it down. 5-minute timers are stupid. I don't put a timer on my economic class. Why would I? I'm trying to teach the subject. I'm not on so I can look. I'm okay. I'm on playing chess. I'm not on so I can look. I'm on playing chess. So I'm not on picking football games. Stupid videos and boring. So this is my comment to this idiot. Now she's got a lot of good comments. Anna and Eamon are a great combo. The sarcasm of Eamon mixed with the positivity of Anna makes for a great dynamic. What the fuck? What are you watching this for? What do you watch me for? So my problem is, and I've said this on her for a couple times, what are you doing? So we can see you play chess. Why do I need to see you play chess? Why do I want to watch a chess game? Now, if you're trying to teach, why do you have a 5-minute clock? Why aren't you saying, well, here's my strategy. The game gets broken into 3 slices. There's the beginning, the middle, and the ending. Okay, seems kind of stupid, but okay. In football, I don't say there's the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter. It's the game. There is no slices of the game. There's no ending of the game. There's no beginning of the game. The game goes. So if I'm going to compare football to this girl's chess, why do I watch football? Because I bet on it. I want to see who's going to win. I'm looking to see how players are. I'm trying to evaluate the teams, the players, the coaches. That's why I'm watching football, and I'm betting on it. Why would I watch this girl play chess? I have no idea why anybody would watch somebody play chess unless they're teaching it. Okay, here's my strategy. So when I start off, I do this. She does talk in chess terms. Well, I try to develop my pieces. What the fuck does that mean? That doesn't help me, right? You're not teaching me anything. Now, as a teacher, I know what to look for. I've taught young girls how to play girls softball. I've taught golf, and God knows I teach you guys economics, gold, and football, and some poker, and logic, and everything else, and the Titanic, and that the dollar is worthless. I teach you all that. And the key I'm trying to teach you is what the hell I'm saying at a low level so you understand it. So you go, that's what he's trying to tell me. I get it. Because I don't get a whole lot of comments that I don't get what I don't smell what you're cooking, as Bobby would say. I don't see that. Nobody emails me. I see the comments here, and I respond to every comment I get until they get a little bit crazy, and then they got to go sit in the corner. But basically, I'm teaching you inflation, economics, what gold is, what the dollar is. So you walk away going, yeah, I know what he's talking about. What she's doing is we're watching her play chess. Who gives a fuck? Why would I watch her play chess? I can't bet on it. Maybe I'm watching it to learn what chess is. Like, I've never understood the strategy of chess. I understand the strategy of golf. I'm trying to drive it in a spot where I can hit my second shot to the uphill part of the green to give me the best opportunity to make the putt. And I'm trying to avoid the water, the trees, and the sand. So I'm trying to hit the left side of the fairway because the pin's on the right side, and I'm trying to leave myself an uphill putt. That's my second shot. So the drive is to get it out there in a proper angle to the pin. My second shot is to leave me an uphill putt if there's hills, and then so I can make a birdie. That's golf strategy. Avoid the water, avoid the trees. Not that difficult. That's it. In a nutshell, that's golf. And then each club goes different yardage. A 7-iron goes farther than a 9-iron. And in today's game, I'm so confused because it's all bullshit. I played a 7-iron, went 150, maybe 155. These guys today hit a wedge 155, 160. What the fuck is that? So they changed the equipment and it fucks the game up, unfortunately. If Nicholas played now, he'd win every tournament because he just outdid everybody. So she plays chess, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So what is your strategy? What is with this 5 minutes that they're making moves so quickly? I don't know what she's doing. So why am I watching? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this 5-minute game where you're hitting the clock? Are you trying to teach, or do you just want us to watch your games? Why do I want to watch your game? What is the point of it? Now she starts selling perfume or something. So now I'm really just doing this because I'm pretty and I'm going to sell perfume. So now we're getting a hint of her reasoning, but she doesn't know how to teach. Every game she plays, I don't care that this guy's a chess master or whatever, and then how do you get a ranking? You know what my ranking would be in football picks? It'd be like 10,000. She's like a 2,000 ranked chess player, whatever that means, which nobody knows what it means. I'd be like a 10,000 point football picker or a 20,000 point economist, but we don't keep track of points. We keep track of results. When this goes to zero and you guys all make money on gold, that's what we keep track of. That's the only thing to keep track of. I don't have points for getting a master's in finance. I just got a master's in finance. There's no points. So she's showing a video where she's making moves. Bobby Bo. Yeah, I'm drilling this chess girl again. So here's what I wrote. And I already posted this so you can read it. But I'm basically calling her out for what is the point of you being on YouTube playing chess? You're not teaching anything. You're playing this 5-minute game. Silver and gold, you're damn right, Bobby Bo. So I teach silver and gold in economics and football. That's what I teach. So again, I'll read it. So what's the point of your video? Are you trying to teach? You do terrible job going through your thought process. Doesn't explain I'm moving my bishop here because, or I'm moving my rooks here, or this is what I'm trying to do. She says, I'm trying to develop my pieces, but I don't know what that means. Then the guy makes a move, and then she loses her bishop, but she doesn't explain that. She doesn't explain basic strategy. Obviously, you're trying to get the king, but she doesn't explain it. You do a terrible job going through your thought process. I don't really need to watch for entertainment. This is boring as tennis. If you're going to show this for education purposes, then explain what the fuck is going on, your strategy, and slow it down. 5-minute timers are stupid. So could you imagine if I kept hitting a clock and going real fast and saying, oh, it's 5 minutes, class is over? Yeah, I'd have a lot of viewers. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Your strategy, and slow it down. 5-minute timers. Why are you trying to play a game in 5 minutes? How are you possibly going to take time to explain to people? And why aren't we getting the opponent's strategy? So you're playing a grandmaster. It should not be a real game. Well, it should be a real game without a timer. And he's saying, well, this is what my strategy is. I'm moving my pawn here. Because I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I know you're trying to capture the king, but I don't know why you're moving your pawns anywhere. Oh, I moved my horse out. Why? I castled my king and rook. Why? Why would you do that? Does it make any sense? What's the point of it? And why do you go here or there? Oh, I try to get my bishop out. Why? Why are you developing your pieces? What is developing your pieces? What is your strategy of moving left or right or up or down? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to lose your pieces? Are you trying to gain pieces? Because they lose a lot of pieces. So then I say, if you're going to show this for educational purposes, explain what the fuck is going on, your strategy, and slow down the 5-minute timers, they're stupid. I don't put a timer on my economic classes. Why would I? I'm trying to teach the subject. I'm not on, so I can say, look at me. I'm on, in her case, I'm on playing chess, stupid videos, and boring, because I don't think chess is exciting. Although if they talk strategy like the art of war, that's very interesting. So that's all I can say. When I see that, it helps me here because I make sure I do not do what she does. Could you imagine me with a timer, Bobby? Okay, your turn. Okay, we've been on 5 minutes. Have a nice day, everybody. Yeah, I didn't explain shit. I don't explain why. It would be like me buying gold and not explaining why I'm buying gold, not explaining what inflation is, not explaining why I ripped the dollar. I ripped the dollar. Oh, I bought gold. But if I don't explain it, then what's the point of even being on? There's no point in being on if I can't explain what the fuck's going on. So anyway, that's why I go into depth and explain the play-by-play. Think of me as a coach, right? I'm Lombardi. I'm Bill Walsh. So I'm telling you, okay, guys, this is what we're trying to run the power sweep, and we're trying to run the daylight. And he explained that for 8 hours. I remember a John Madden video. He says, I'm in the class, and like an idiot, I sat in the back, and he talked about the power sweep for 8 hours. And because he showed what the guys are doing blocking. So the left tackle, if the linebacker's out, he blocks him out. If the linebacker's in, he blocks him in. So everybody has choices depending on what the defense is doing. When Horning's running around, they're blocking, they're giving him the hole. So it's wherever if the guy's here, he pushes him. If the guy's here, he pushes him. That's the idea of the blocking scheme. And then Horning runs up the gut and gets a touchdown. And he said, he talked 8 hours on it. And Madden's and he said, like an idiot, I sat in the back of the class. Here's Lombardi teaching, and I'm sitting in the back. And he says, I thought I knew everything about football till I sat there, and then I realized I don't know anything about football. It was just classic Madden. Anyway, so again, what do we read? We read, first let me get to overblown news. Joe Burrow, I see the play. He's, for some reason, running. This is a scrimmage. They're not even in fucking pads. He gets the ball. Instead of just working on his passing, he decides to run. And he pulls his calf muscle. I don't think it's an injury. I don't think he didn't break his leg. It looked like he pulled a calf or hurt the calf muscle. And they make it like it's, oh my God, Joe Burrow is seriously injured in practice. He ain't seriously injured. I think what happened is he hurt his calf yesterday, and he wrapped it up, and he hurt it again. Now, the question is why is he running? It's a fucking practice. You're not even in pads. And he's running fast. What? Hello? Is anybody home at Cincinnati? So this is why we don't make our bets yet. We wait to a week before the game, because now I'm not betting Cincinnati if Joe Burrow's out. But if maybe he's trying to up the odds, and Joe Burrow's out, let's bet on Cleveland. Oh shit, he's hurt. No wonder why they only -3. No. They were -3 before he got hurt, Bobby. He got hurt today. I've been reading you the line -2.5 for a month now. So no, that line is because they think Watson is good, which we all know. He was good a couple of years ago. He was good at Clemson, but he hasn't played in a while. So, no, that's not why the line's 2.5, because they think Cleveland's good and the game's at Cleveland. But basically, no, it's not. And I don't know how serious it is. He'd probably be out for a week. Why isn't he just back throwing? Why? This is the problem with the running course. So Lamar Jackson will never play a full season again. He signs this big contract, most of it guaranteed. And I guarantee you he's not recovered from the knee injury. You get an ACL, MCL, you're not recovering from it. Just like Tate Tulia he's got 3 or 4 concussions. He's not ever going to recover. That's why Young and Aikman quit because of that. That's why Roger Staubach quit. You get the concussions, you're dead. You get one more and you're gone. Look at Lawrence Taylor on any given Sunday. You're gone. He should not be playing, right? He's playing, and he might not get up next time he gets hit. We're getting within a month of college football. Yes, we are. 1 month from today. I think the first game is, the 27th? Yep. Exciting. So anyway, so that's what I saw, the Joe Burrow injury. But again, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah, he got carted off. Big deal. I didn't like the coach. He says, "Oh, we don't get all upset over every player that gets injured. This ain't every player. This is your whole team. This is Joe Burrow." Now, is this going to be a lingering injury? That's really the question. Now you got to hold your breath when you're betting on the first game. Is Joe Burrow's calf going to be okay? So they better rest it and hopefully fix it. But that's my point. First practice, he hurts his calf. Well, what do you think these idiots are going to do when they don't play in the preseason? And then there's a bye. So they're not playing at all. And then here comes week 1. And calves and knees and hamstrings, boom. Oh, I asked you too late yesterday. How was your fast? You did how many hours did you do, Bobby? I don't know if you did 24, if you got up to 48 or 36. And then how was it? Did you enjoy it? Did it heal your hamstring? I just want to know what happened with you. But anyway, so when you get a chance, answer. Then we see, it's funny how the coaches be trying to keep cool and downplay star players getting hurt like it don't matter. Shake my head. If Burrow goes out, your whole team is done, buddy. Well, not only that, but why is he running? What type of practice are you having? Your quarterback should just be standing there throwing the ball to Chase and throwing the ball to T. Higgins and throwing the ball to your tight end. That's it. That's all you should be doing. You shouldn't be, why is he running full speed? You're wearing shorts. It's hot out. What the fuck are you doing? I did 24 hours. It felt a lot easier this time. Yeah, no, it's good. Now, did it help your hamstring and your back and everything? My digestion feels like it resettled and feeling pretty good. Yeah, you don't realize try to do a 48, which basically eat Sunday dinner, have your ribs and pig's ears. Don't eat it all Monday. Have your tea and water and coffee. And then eat lunch Tuesday. And, all you're doing is skipping one day, which if you got busy on the golf course, or let's say you're flying to Amsterdam, and then you lose time because of the time change. Well, pretty much you're doing a long fast there without even realizing it. So try that. The back, not bad at right now. Hamstring feels more like a blood flow thing and gets tight. The fasting should heal that, but maybe you need another day of the fast. Like with my feet, I tend to do a 72-hour fast. You haven't lived till you've done the 72-hour fast, Bobby. After that, you feel so good. That's all I can say. Just, you got to do the 72-hour fast. It's just unbelievable. I don't know if it's like the cold water, hot water Russian thing where they jump into the freezing cold water naked, and then they come out and go into the sauna. Then they go back into the ice cold water, and they say it's supposed to be great. Now, I'm not doing that, but they say that's good. I'll just assume do a 72-hour fast. But I do have my power back on, Bobby, so fortunately I didn't lose all my freezer stuff. So that's football. Well, that's just Joe Burrow. So we're going to keep an eye on it. I keep seeing these injuries. These Dalvin Cook might be going here, but I don't want to read that. I don't want to read where he might be going. I want to read he went. The Jets are looking really strong. Today, my man Sean Payton just ripped the other head coach of Denver. He said it was like a fucking child's camp here. The coaching staff should have been fired. They did a terrible job, and he's trying to mend it all. But what he's doing is he's trying to get Russell Wilson off the hook. He realizes Russell Wilson needs to have a tap on his back, right? He realizes that he's getting blamed for stuff that he said 3/4 of the plays came in way late. And Russell Wilson didn't have time to run the play, kept getting delayed games. So he says there's terrible coaching. So he's trying to blame the coach and build Russell Wilson up because he knows he needs Russell Wilson. He knows Russell Wilson's a great quarterback. So he gets the blame because the coach couldn't call the plays in time. So look for Denver to win that division. The back not bad at right now. Hamstring, okay. One thing I did notice big time was that I woke up Monday morning, which was 18 hours, and I felt in a really good mood. Yeah. Well, wait for 72 hours. Have that Cuban girl next to you, and you'll lay the smackdown on her for a long time. Don't know if it was the fast, but yeah, it was definitely that's what I'm telling you. It's definitely the fast. That's what I'm saying. Do a 48-hour, and it's a very strong, very good feeling. Now that I wake up bad in the mornings, but Monday felt like Christmas Day or something, and then I thought to myself, "Oh shit, maybe it's too." Well, all I can say, Bobby, is do a 72-hour fast. Not now, but I mean, skip your Monday, skip a day, and eat lunch the next. So you'll go dinner, nothing after dinner, nothing the next day, and that'll give you 24, 36. It'll give you basically a 42-hour fast. And you're only missing one day. You're eating dinner, fasting, and then you're eating your breakfast or your lunch. You'll feel great. All your aches and pains will go away. You won't feel your back. You won't feel your hamstring. All those, you'll just get up and walk around like nothing. You'll be in a very good mood. It's a very euphoric thing, and you'll be healthy. Your kidney and your liver are all cleaned out. Your heart, all that. Your brain, it's all clean. Your little guy went in and cleaned you up. That's what I'm trying to impart on you. That's why you can't go just 18 hours. That's when the guy just starts cleaning up. You're only letting him clean for 6 hours, and I'm saying let him clean for 24 hours, right? Let him go 42 hours. And then you'll start realizing he killed all the bad guys, right? He's here and he's there and he's looking for food and he sees it and he's eating it. And, it's good to get rid of your fat, but you're in good shape. So you really don't care that much about that, but it lowers your blood pressure. Everything. Well, your blood pressure is okay, but it's just your mental health and anything negative in here or your back or your hamstring, it will be cleaned. They're cleaning it. Let them clean it. And you're at the point of 24 hours, but you're not. It's from 18 on. You're getting 6 hours of a cleaning. It's like getting a 20-minute massage instead of an hour massage. Let the guy clean you, and then you'll really understand it. That's why I do them every 2-3 months. I do the 72-hour fast. Now, normally it's like my eating habits go off and then my feet start bothering me. So I do it. It's like I'm not going to the doctor. I'm going to fast. And like when I lost my last job in September, and the guy goes, "You want Cobra?" I go, "I don't go to a doctor. Only idiots go to a doctor," because I know he would go to a doctor. I said, "Only idiots go to it. I just fast. I stay away from sugars, and I'm fine. I have very little problems. My back is because of my posture, but not because of sugar. My feet probably are from salt, so I cut the salt out. So now when I have eggs, I don't pour salt into it, just pepper and garlic and stuff. So anyway." So I laid the smack down on this girl, wondering what the fuck are you doing? Why are you playing a 5-minute game of chess? Who gives a fuck? Why do we care? We don't know who you are. You're some hot girl from Sweden. We can go look at models from Sweden in swimsuits if I want to see a hot girl, or I can just look at Jenna and Daria and look at hot girls. I don't need to see you. You're playing chess, but I don't need to watch chess. I was watching bowling today, and it was Carmen Salvino. It was in the 1970s, and it was Marshall Holman was in his rookie year, was 19 years old. He looked pretty funny with the hair. And Joe Berardi was in it, and Don McCune, and Carmen Salvino won. And just to see how nervous Marshall Holman was this is like 74, so he was a rookie. But that I had more excitement. Wow, at least I understand the object of the game. You try to put a hook on the ball and find where the track is and where it's going to hit the pocket. And sometimes it's too much oil and it hooks in, and sometimes it doesn't hook in and goes straight. I get that. That's fucking exciting. Not chess, I don't get what she's doing. What are you, in other words, if I'm playing it, I'm setting a plan up. I'm going to do this to make Bobby think I'm doing this, and I'm really going to do that. Okay, that would make sense, but I don't know that that's what she's doing. I don't get it at all what the fuck she's doing, and I don't get why, and I don't really, and again, I give the thumbs down. Like, why are you wasting my time? This is I don't know how long it is. All right, so let's go. Let's take a look at. So what I'm noticing, they want you to believe the inflation is down. Inflation's back to 2% or 2.5% or 3%. That's not the full inflation. That's one little part of it, but they're not saying that. I heard that it was like one part. It's 3%, but that's not. It's really 6.5%. So they're just trying to snow everybody. And you can see gold went down today because, if the inflation's over, so this is where everybody, this is the scam. This is Bernie Madoff. Oh, look, the inflation's over. So therefore, gold will go down because we don't want gold competing with the dollar. And they're all scared shitless about the BRICS. So gold's back down to 1946, which according to Egon, it doesn't mean a damn thing. And according to me either. But the inflation number's wrong because they're looking at what? Prices. Why is inflation down? Because cars can't sell and they're lowering their price on cars. So therefore, since they measure inflation with prices and not the fact you're printing the shit out of this hasn't stopped. They're still printing it, right? It's not like there's not $12 trillion out there. That hasn't stopped. All it is when you throw in car prices, which are down because of the inflation causing the interest rates to go up, so they can't sell their cars. So they got to lower their price. So Toyota can't sell the Camry for $30,000 with 8% interest. It's $900 a month payments. Nobody can afford it. So they got to lower their car, because if they don't, they're going to have a whole showroom full of cars and a whole driveway full of. I drove by I think it was a Ford or somebody dealer the other day, and it was just flooded with cars they can't sell. So they lower the price because they can't sell it. And then they want to try to tell you inflation's down because, look, prices are going down. But wait, interest rates are going up. So the only way they can move the car is to lower their price, because then when you add in that 8%, the payment is $900 a month, which nobody can afford. So they're trying to get the payment maybe down to $600 or $700. So they you can't lower the interest rate, so you got to lower the prices. Oh, well, that's look, inflation's coming down. We've done it by raising interest rates. You haven't done anything, because the interest rates are not done by the Fed. They're done by the market. They're done by me loaning out money and saying, I'm going to get fucked if I don't make it 10% because of the inflation. And then wait for the foreigners to start pulling their money, which they're going to do. So Powell's trying to make it look like, oh, look what I did. Even though I'm the one who caused the inflation, look how I fixed it, because it was really Putin's fault because of the war. And it's such bullshit. This is why you can't listen to any of the CNBC, MSNBC, any of that. You cannot listen to it. It's not true. And that's the biggest thing I try to warn you about is, who are you listening to, right? I'm telling you what's really going on, so you can listen to me. when you listen to Peter Schiff or Rude or any of these guys, they don't know what's going on. You can't listen to them because they're just trying to sell gold. I'm not trying to sell gold. I don't own a gold store. I'm not a gold dealer. I'm an economist. I'm a football handicapper, and I'm telling you the right thing to do. And that's what I bring up the example. But basically, you got to, they're not handling, you don't handle inflation with interest rates at 5% that you forced up way too fast. It takes 6 months from the time you raise the first interest rate to see what's happening in the market. But they're looking at, well, look, there's, the unemployment is staying low. Who gives a fuck? What does that mean? Doesn't mean anything. You got all these retirees now. So you've got the baby boomers quitting, but guess what? They're not applying for unemployment. They're applying for Social Security. So it makes the whole thing skewy because, as I say, Tom Brady ain't on New England anymore. You can't use those trends. And that's my point. You cannot look at what happened. You can't look at unemployment rate when half of the society are baby boomers who have retired and are getting Social Security, or they getting their pensions, and they're not going to apply for unemployment. So, of course, the unemployment statistics look better or worse or whatever the hell, but they're all meaningless to the economy. Anyway, so Tesla, again, lowered their prices. I told you, get the fuck out of Tesla stock. They're not going to be able to sell cars between their prices being too high and the interest rates, and nobody wants electric vehicles. Why would anybody buy stock in Tesla? I'd love to have a conversation. Anybody out there, go ahead. Sorry, Bobby, didn't see. Do you do annual physicals for blood work and all that? Not really. I know what I'm looking for, and I basically go by how I feel. I know what's going. If my feet start bothering me, I really, like, sometimes I'll have a little sugar. I'll cut it out. I cut out the diet pop and the salt because of my feet, and they're fine now. They haven't been a problem. Dental, I go to the dentist. Again, my tooth cracked. I went, he fixed it, and then I got a cleaning. I try to get a cleaning once a year, but my teeth are in great shape, and I never floss. I use mouthwash. So I use the Crest mouthwash, and I take it in the morning, and I take it before I go to bed. So the first thing in the morning, I gargle. Well, I just swirl around, spit it out. It cleans everything. And then after all day, then I go to bed. It's the last thing I do is put the mouthwash in. I haven't had a cavity in years. When I do the little inserts, they can't find, a big hole. They can't find anything in the gums. They're just shocked. And that's just the way it is. So, no, I find that if you just avoid sugars and carbs, you don't need any of that shit. If you let your body heal it, that's my point. When I do a 72-hour fast, they're cleaning my teeth, they're cleaning my gums, they're cleaning my neck, my eyes. Everything gets clean. That's my point. So why go to a doctor when I have the best doctor in here if you just let him out? And if you let him come out, he comes out after 18 hours. So if you let him come out and clean you, that's the doctor right here. So I don't need, what's the blood work going to do? So I get high blood work. What am I going to do? I'll stop eating sugar and carbs. Oh, I already do that. So what's the point? So I know everything's caused by the sugar. So if I just avoid the sugar, what do I need a physical for? What are they going to tell me? Yeah, you look fine. Yeah, I know I look fine. I don't eat sugar. So, once in a while I have a cake. Yesterday, I think I got a donut because I was, I don't want to open my freezer. I'm hungry. I had a sweet tooth, so I had a donut. Okay, so it's a once in a, maybe once a week I have that. My problem is I haven't been able to go to the pool because without the electricity, they're on a generator, so I couldn't swim yesterday. I'm there all day today working. I couldn't swim. The pool was closed. Should be open tomorrow. We have as you can see, power and lights and everything. So I'm expecting the pool to be open tomorrow. I only work till noon, and looking forward. Now today I got my paycheck, and I called my guy and I said, "See, I told you I normally get paid Thursday, but last time was Friday." And, so I know what I looked today and there it was. And I was kind of half expecting it. Well, maybe it'd be tomorrow, but I knew to look at it. Anyway, yeah, I got to go to the dentist tomorrow. I hate going. Just, are you going for a cavity or are you going just for a cleaning? The cleaning's not, like I said, I don't even need cleaning. Just take the Crest mouthwash and rinse it twice a day, and you don't need, that's my cleaning. I don't need a cleaning, but hopefully it's not anything too bad. But watch your sugars and you won't have cavities. I haven't had cavities in so long because I've been off of sugar for 4 or 5 years now. So anyway, so don't believe inflation's down to 2%. That's bullshit. That's propaganda trying to make them look good. It's all bullshit. It did not stop. Gold dropping is just a buying opportunity, as we know. Like Egon said, the Federal Reserve, the central banks are going to do their job and ruin the economies. And Alligator did his thing today, but it was really. So here's Alligator's. He says inflation will return. This is today's. And he just says, it's an error to expect inflation to continue to fall in America. All financial market values in the U.S. and everywhere are predicted on this hope. The misunderstanding is assume that this widely expected recession will lead to further falls in consumer prices. He's just laughing at it, saying none of this is true or real. Stop. Don't pay any attention. Don't believe that this has actually happened. I'll read the end of it because he usually sums it up. This is too long. He does this. This is like, assuming the new gold-backed trade currency is introduced, it seems bound to accelerate a move by Russia and China towards backing their own currencies with gold. Others are bound to follow. Only then will the full benefit of a widespread industrial revolution for most emerging economies be available to them. But the fiat system based on the dollar will be destroyed. Fucking finally. It's like a cancer and you got a chance to get rid of it. And it's like, get rid of it. What the fuck? Then he says, consequently, dollar reserves at central banks representing over 40 nations will be exchanged for gold. Again, we all know what's going to happen to gold and silver prices, a trend which has already been evident for the last 18 months. The gold price is therefore likely to rise materially due to economic factors set to destabilize the economies of America and her Western allies. And foreign influences will shift capital away from them into gold, commodities perhaps, and the investment opportunities offered by the two Asian hegemons, Russia and China. So that's Alligator today doing his thing. Again, we have to understand everything's based on the market. So when Tesla lowers his price, it's because you can't sell it. So why would you own Tesla stock? Not only can't he sell it, not only is there no demand, but you got these huge interest rates that even if you wanted to buy one, it's going to be $1,000 a month for an electric car that's going to last you 6 months and either go on fire or you're going to get so sick of charging it every other day. It's another thing they're not telling you. How often do you think these idiots have to charge the car? So if you charge it on Sunday because you're not working and you do a full charge, means you're outside 8 hours on your Sunday instead of relaxing on the golf course or in the lake. At what point are you going back to charge it? Tuesday? Wednesday? Do you have 8 hours to charge it all the time? How much is it costing you? How long does the charge last? 300 miles in a highway, like highway miles versus city miles. But what if you go to work? So you go to work, you start it up, you drive 10 miles in rush hour, and then you come back. You still got 300 miles on your charge, and that might be when you brand new it. Let's say 6 months into it. I know my battery on this doesn't keep the charge as much. Eventually it's 100%, and then it's 90, 80, 70, where in the beginning it's 100, 98, 97. It holds it much longer, but after a while it doesn't. Well, it's just going to happen in the car. So how you're going to want to go every day, charge your car, and then worry about how far I can drive it before it runs out. And then you're going to be stranded with your electric. This is what you want. You got to be out of your fucking mind. We want more efficiency. We want more productivity. We want a better phone. Like, now I can text with my phone, and I can take pictures, and I can send messages and pictures to Jenna and Daria, to my girls in Europe, just with the phone, and it doesn't cost anything. That's what I want out of the phone. It's enhanced things. I can take pictures. I can say, hello, I love you, have a nice day, and then send that message to them. I can do a video message where I can show them, I can do this right now. I won't. So I could go to Irina, because she speaks English good, and I can do this video. And I can say, hi, Irina, I'm doing my show now. I'm using you as an example of I can send this to Romania by the productivity of the phone. Have a nice night. Take care. So I just sent her that message. There it is. And I couldn't do it. Jenna could understand it. Daria, I don't know how much English she understands. But there you go. I could send that message to her. That's productivity. That's what we want. We don't want to go backwards. Here's an electric car, but it's not more productive. We don't know when it's going to run out of charge. We don't know where their charging stations are. We don't know how long it takes to charge. We don't know if it's going to catch on fire, if you can even insure it. There's too much stuff we don't even know about. That's not more productive. That's less productive. Then what are you going to do when the battery goes? Oh, you got $5,000 in this economy to get a new battery? Or you could just have your car where you do oil changes and brakes and tires, and all you do is fill it up with gas. Jeez. How much easier is that? So why would we go backwards? And again, that's the government doing, oh my God, because it's all political, that the world's going to end because we drive cars. We got to drive electric. You got to be out of your fucking mind. This is a planet. You're not destroying it because we're driving cars. I mean, come on. Anyway, so the inflation's hitting everywhere, but they might want to tell you it's all, look what we did. Oh, God, it's all fine and dandy. And so the interpretation is, we've got inflation. Look what we did. We raised interest rates, got the inflation down to 2%. And now we're going to lower the interest rates. But wait a minute, he just raised the interest rates. Why is he raising the interest rates if all this good news about the inflation? And it takes 6 months from the time he puts the interest rate in till the time it actually gets absorbed in the market. So we don't know what the effect of his interest rate increase yesterday was. Well, wait, if he increased it, gold should be even higher because, the inflation's down, but he's raising interest rates. What the fuck's going on? That's so he fucks up everybody's money. But all I can do is assure you that this is done. This is like this now, right? This is about where we're at with the dollar. It's worth about 2 cents. Okay, this is your dollar. The inflation did not go away. You can't look at it from 1 month, because when you really dig into it, and that's what I'm so good at, it's because of the cars. Now they're measuring the cars going, oh, wait, they're lowering their price. Geez, since we're going to measure inflation incorrectly by prices, which is not how you measure inflation, you measure it by interest rates, right? And you measure it by prices, and look, oh, the cars, because the interest rates are 10%, the car prices are going down, the housing prices are going down. I guess inflation's down. All of the reason you look at prices is because this lost value, and if this loses value, the less this is worth, the more things cost. What does alligator say? It's not the gold going up, it's the dollar going down. That's why the price of gold goes up, because it takes more dollars to buy the same ounce of gold. And that's what's happening everywhere. So because they're inflating it, they're expecting prices to go up everywhere. And they're going, wow, look at the price of tuna fish didn't go up. Well, it probably did. So they're going, oh, look at the price of cars didn't go up. That means inflation must be coming down. No, because it's the price and the interest rate that gives you housing and cars. So if you only look at the price of the car coming down and you're not looking at the interest rate and you're not looking at the total cost of the car. So it's a $25,000 car with a 10% interest rate, or let's say 8, makes it a $33,000 car. I paid $25 for mine. It was 24 and 2%. So I paid $25 in total for my car. So now if I tried to buy the $24,000 Camry at 8% interest, I'm paying $32 for it. The price didn't go up. Okay, they lower it to 23. They say, oh, look, inflation's down. They've lowered it to 23. No, because now it's a $32,000 car. How did the price go? The price didn't go down because there's 2 points of it, just like the housing. There's the base and then there's the interest. And that's what they're not saying anything about the interest rate going up. They're saying the price going down, but it's all combined. And it's the same thing with, it's they think interest rates are controlled by the central bank. Oh, Powell raised rates. That's mortgage. And no, that's not. As I keep explaining, that's what the central bank charges banks to loan the money. So when the banks need money, they go to the central bank and he charges them 5.5%. That's it. It's got nothing to do with car loans and home loans. Now, maybe they mark up the 5 and they need a borrow, but they don't borrow from the Fed for loans. They just print a loan out. They just produce money out of thin air. They make a car loan. If I want a car loan and I go to JP Morgan, he doesn't go to the Fed and borrows the money. He just prints me up. Here's your $30,000 for the car, and now you owe me $35,000. It comes out of thin air. But then I pay him back out of fiat money. So it's all bullshit. I'm looking at the week 1 lines while listening to class. I see Florida line is coming down. The sharps must be on them. Yeah, the sharps. It's like gold. I'm not even paying attention to it because I'm not going to bet it now. And the Joe Burrow injury is why we don't. So we don't even know who Florida's quarterback is at this point. We know it ain't Richardson, but they don't have a quarterback, right? So are we worried about Florida? No. We got Utah with a very strong defense, good running, and Cam Rising. So if I got Rising, why would I worry about Florida? In the mountains, not in the swamp. So don't really care. I'm really liking the South Carolina plus 120. Oh, stop at the money lines. You're going to make me sick. Just tease it up to 8. Lock it in. It's an easy winner. Playing with the Army. I mean, I don't get the money line. You get 120. All right, so maybe that's worth it. You're getting, instead of getting 2 points, you play it even. What if they lose by 1? What if they lose by a field goal? You're turning a winner into a loser. That's what I have against it. And I don't know that the odds, okay, plus 120 is probably not a bad bet, but generally plus the 8 and if you're laying 110, if you get normal odds, the odds on you getting South Carolina and 8 are a whole lot more than the money line winning with North Carolina. Again, you're betting on Spencer Rattler, so be careful. I think he can keep the game close, but I don't know that he's going to win the game. But yeah, that's fine. So anyway, so you watch the recession, then you see headlines with the recession's, coming. Well, it's not coming. Into the inflation's done. No, it's not done. The stock market's going to crash. No, the stock market's fine. Oh, they had a soft landing. No, they're not going to have a soft landing. I'm telling you, they're not going to have a soft landing. The stock market's going to crash because all the foreigners are going to pull their money out because the inflation is not over. They're putting in this little thing on the car prices dropping because they can't sell them. The lots are full of cars. They have to lower their price because that's Say's law. The market for cars with the interest rate is here. So if I'm selling the car and I got to add this interest rate, it's $900 a month. Who the fuck's where's the market for $900 a month car payments? Who has that? Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. That's it. No normal person. I don't have a $900 a month car payment. Now, here's the beauty of gold. We're going to buy a house with gold. We're not going to have a mortgage. How much do you want for it? We're going to buy a car with gold. We won't have to worry about the interest rate. Here's your gold. I'll take the car. Thank you very much. People will realize that once the shit hits the fan, it's the real money. And they won't want the circus stuff, right? They don't want this shit. So therefore, because they don't want this shit, what else is there? Well, if you can get the BRICS gold-backed currency, but better, you can have the gold. And that's what you're going to do. Now, if the U.S., the new currency is not backed by gold, it's toilet paper. Remember that. Whatever currency you get, wherever country, we go to Switzerland to live, we go to Germany to live, we go to France to live, Italy, Spain. What's their dollar? If it's not backed by gold, it's toilet paper. Get the fuck out. Keep buying gold and silver. That's your only way out. As I've said, gold's freedom. This is slavery or control. So what would you choose? Do you want freedom or do you want to be controlled and enslaved? To me, I want gold. I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be controlled. I don't like it. No, I lost power. I lost control. I'm praying it's not too long that my stuff in the freezer. I'm fucked because I can't take the stuff out of the freezer and cook it because my stove won't work and I won't be able to cook it. So even if I have a grill and I go barbecue up 5 steaks and some chicken, where am I going to put it? I don't have a place. My fridge won't work and keep it fresh until I can eat it. So where am I going to go? Eat 5 steaks so they don't go bad? That's the problem. So yeah, we're controlled. We don't know it. The other thing is on the phone, we're controlled. They're listening to everything we do. So I got to be careful with the girls, what I say. But basically, I understand they're listening. However, they're not really recording it unless you're a bad guy. Then they'll look at, what's all their emails and what's all the phone calls. Otherwise, they're not really paying attention. You're out there, but they're not paying attention to you. Bobby, I remember Buffet saying he only buys silver. I found that interesting what you think, Professor. He says that silver is the better play. Well, who thinks Buffet is a good investor? I don't. He stole a lot of money from his life insurance company in Nebraska, Mutual of Omaha. So he stole all the money. He's got all this money. What does he do? He buys $1 million worth of Coca-Cola and he buys $1 million worth of Disney. So you think he's a smart guy? How hard is it to have 20, 30 years ago bought 1 million ounces of Coke or 1 million shares of Coke or 1 million shares of Disney? Do you think he's still in Disney with all the shit going on? Do you think he's buying Tesla? I hope not. See, he doesn't understand. I don't look at him as I watched one interview with him, and I'll never watch another because he's full of shit, where they ask him about inflation. He says, well, it's prices. And as soon as I heard that, I said, okay, this guy is clueless. You have to listen. Because I'm not a billionaire doesn't make me stupid. Because I live in an apartment doesn't make me stupid. It's what's up here and the way I can express myself and teach you so you understand what the fuck's going on. And you're going, yeah, that makes sense. So I don't find Buffet knows what the fuck he's talking about. I wouldn't take his advice at all. He's a thief, that he stole money. Now, not only gold, how smart is that when you got the BRICS coming out with gold? He's got $2 billion in cash from what I can see. I don't know. I believe that. Let's go into zero. What he's trying to do is buy houses and cars cheap using cash. So as people start going broke and needing to sell their property and their cars and whatever else, their paintings or whatever, they need to sell their assets for money. He's trying to take advantage of it. But what he doesn't understand is he's holding dollars. And we all know dollars are going to zero. And they're going real quick. Like Egon says, it's like that last 7 minutes when the stadium fills with water. Like there's nothing there. And then in the last 7 minutes, it explodes. He says, that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen here. So once BRICS announces the gold currency, and once it starts the realization that the dollar's out, it's gone. I mean, you're looking at 2-3 weeks, and it's gone. It's not going to take long. So he doesn't understand gold, makes me go, this guy's the biggest idiot in the world. How can you not understand gold? It's money. How can you not understand you have no? If I'm him with $2 billion, it's all in gold. It's not in paper. I don't want to be in paper. I want to be out of paper. Well, you see what I do. I show you. I take my little toilet paper and they give me gold for it. And I thank God every time I go to the coin store that they still have it and it's still 2,000 an ounce. Good, I can buy more. And here, take my green crap that I sneeze into and I wipe myself with. Take this because it's worthless. And then I come home and I'm all proud. I got a new kid, a little 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce of gold, and I can't lose. I know it's going to go way up in value. I know it never goes to zero. It's never gone to zero in 6,000 years. It's not about to go to zero now, right? So keep that in mind. I mean, it didn't go to zero for the Romans. They took all the gold out of their coin. They had gold coins and silver coins, and then they slowly took the gold out, and it ended up being like copper or brass or tin or something. So there was no gold in the coin. The gold didn't lose the value. They took the gold out, and you had a copper coin. And guess what? There's no value in copper. So that's what you have to understand. Every number one country had the gold. Then they get stupid, and then they go to war because they got gold, and then they end up going broke. So it's very simple. If you're conservative, it's like you win 10 grand betting football on a Saturday. The last thing you want to do on a Sunday is bet 20 grand. If you win 10 grand on Saturday betting, and this happened to me, as I said, when I was a kid in the 70s, Mark Herman was at Purdue. That's when it happened. I hit 17 games. I'm up $1,700, something like that. There's no way I was betting 17 on Sunday. I bet like 800. And even then I was pissed, but I already had some bets in, from Saturday on the pros. And even then I was pissed going, I shouldn't have made a bet at all on Sunday. I'm up 1,700 in 1977, 78. I don't need to make another bet. That's like 17,000 now. So why am I even making a bet? There's no point in it anymore. I just killed it I hit every college game. I went 17-0 in college. I mean, that's me. And I've done that many times. But when you do it, the last thing you want to do is bet on Sunday. I mean, it's like, I don't want nothing to do with Sunday. But that's what you look. Well, you bet the good games, but you bet them a lot smaller. I think I had Dallas over the Giants with Roger Staubach, and they killed them. And I had a premonition, my first INFJ, and it was like, I bet Danny White will be in the fourth quarter. And he was, and they're up like 35-3. And Danny White's calling the signals, and I just grinned, going, "Yeah, I called that one pretty good." But that's what you get. You've got to manage your money when you do hit the 1,700, or in our case, 3 or 4 or 5,000, whatever your limits are, on a Saturday. See, now it's Thursday night, and then it's Friday, and it's Saturday and Sunday and Monday. The reason they do it is to get you to bet more. That's it. It's a little bit more TV money, but it's the casinos running it who want more bets. So by having a Thursday game, as opposed to it on Sunday, Cleveland and the Jets on Thursday night versus Cleveland and the Jets Sunday afternoon, nobody's going to bet that. It'll just be one of the other games. But if you make it Thursday night, you get all this betting. And the casinos with the bad odds know the more games, the more action, the more they win. So that's why there is. So, like I say, I try to stick to Saturday and then Sunday, and I don't like too many Thursday games. I might bet KC over Detroit, but I'm curious if Detroit's an over team anymore, because they lost the running back. They don't really have receivers except for St. Brown or whatever. But now he'll be the target. He'll be double teamed. Goff sucks. I love how they're bringing in Teddy Bridgewater. They're not even giving Hooker a chance. They're going to Bridgewater. Well, Hooker's still recovering from the knee, but here's Bridgewater. Hooker probably won't see any action if that. You watch, Goff will get injured, and then they'll blame Goff for that. Now, the reason they're bringing in Bridgewater Hooker, because they won't pay Goff his salary, because the Lions never pay a player. Look at Darius Slay. Why is he at Philadelphia? Lions have him. He's a good driver. He's an all-pro, and they let him go. That's the Lions' problem. Anybody that's any good, they will not pay his second contract unless they have to, unless it's Barry or Calvin Johnson or Stafford. They will not pay the second contract. So they keep going to young guys, and the odds on hitting the good ones. I was looking at some LaPointe guy today. I go, who the fuck's this guy? I never heard of him. Oh, he was a tight end for Iowa. They drafted in the second round. I'm like, oh, my God. Iowa scored, 7 points a game, and you're drafting their tight end. Oh, okay, good luck. Let's see how that works. He's cheap. He went to Iowa. Nobody knows him. Why didn't they get the guy from Utah, Kincaid or whatever? I mean, they can't even do anything right. The running back, he's cheap. He's out of Alabama. He's cheap. He's not a big name. Oh, they're going to use him to catch passes out of the backfield. Really? Can he catch out of the backfield? He didn't catch for Alabama. He had 20 receptions last year, and they throw the ball all over the place. So what the fuck would you get a running back out of Alabama to be a receiver for? I mean, there's just a bunch of idiots, but that's why we make a lot of money betting against them. Bobby. So he says the silver is a better play, because Buffet thinks that silver is used in solar and in car batteries and in computers and in phones. So because Buffet thinks it's not money, it's because it's used, and he doesn't get it. Gold is the gold standard. It's the king. If you want anything, you want gold. Silver, you're going to turn into gold. As I say, we buy the 20-ouncer, and we're going to take that and shift it and buy and get 2 ounces of gold with it. That's what we're going to do with it. Now, Buffet does have a lot of silver, but I'd rather have a $2,000 ounce gold that's going to 50, 60,000 than a $25 ounce of silver going to 2,000 or 3,000. If I'm Warren Buffett. Now, I don't mind. I've got 600 ounces of silver almost. I love how the last couple of times I go to, I'm ready to buy silver, and they still have the little quarter ounces of gold, and okay, give me that. I'll spend the 500 on that instead of the money on the other. So that's, instead of buying the silver, I got so much silver. I'm like, okay, I'm giving it to the girls. It's like, okay, but we'll see. I should tell Jenna. Jenna wants a tennis racket, Bobby. So I should say, well, go take your silver and buy a tennis racket. I guarantee you she doesn't sell that. She knows. She might not know a lot, but she knows not to fuck with the gold or silver I give her. And I told her, she says, well, we don't have that much. It's really not worth that much. I go, wait, it's going to be. That's the point of the story that you keep missing. You can't look at the 25 now. You got to look at the 2000. It's going to be worth in 6 months once BRICS announces next month, and then you're going to see the shit hit the fan. That's what we're waiting for. So we're waiting for this to happen. Yeah, the Chinese buffet is the only buffet I like. Yeah, I'm with you, Bobby. I agree, Professor. Some games are solid bets, but some are locks. For example, LSU over Florida State next month. You keep trying, you're on the wrong philosophically, your bet doesn't make sense. Emotionally, it makes sense because did you go to LSU or you just like LSU? I like LSU too, but not here. Not against Georgia. I don't like them. There's certain times I don't like them. There's certain times if they're playing Ole Miss, I like them, or Mississippi State, or some are getting points from Alabama. I think I bet them last year, but I don't like the quarterback. I like the coach, and I think they'll do well, but he needs the quarterback. He needs Joe Burrow back. Silver keeps hitting those mid-20s, but can't get anywhere. Yeah, 30 mark. Don't get frustrated with silver. Again, they're keeping the price down on purpose, so don't get upset about it. We know it's price fixed. We know this price isn't even close to reality. We know it's being held down. So therefore, it's a buying opportunity. And as soon as this BRICS thing hits, and as soon as our dollar gets inflated to zero, yeah, you're going to see, like I said, you're going to see $2,000 an ounce silver easily. So this is strictly, it's $25 an ounce. I'm going to buy more. That's why I go and buy every like I got paid today. Tomorrow I'll go, and my goal will be to buy 20 ounces of silver, maybe another quarter ounce of gold. It depends on what the price is. But, I mean, this should be an easy buy when I look at. So I got silver at $24.12. He'll sell it at $27.12. I can buy 20 ounces for $5.40. It's like it's the biggest no-brainer. But when I look at gold, it's $19.47, means I'm getting it under $2,100. And if I buy another quarter ounce, it's only going to cost me $520. It's a fucking no-brainer. So, I mean, that's my point. They're just giving it away. But you got to understand that's what's happening. You can't. Buffet doesn't understand what's happening. He doesn't get that these are price fixed. If people understood what price fixing is, they don't understand. We understand because we bet football, and we know when the refs fuck us and they fix the game. And then so we're very in tune to what's going on with gold and silver from football. It's price fixed, just like the game's fixed. All of a sudden they're going into the one, but they don't want to go over, and they'll call a holding penalty. And then they'll just take a knee or they'll kick a field goal and the game won't go over because all the betting's over, right? Mysteriously. Kansas City, they need a touchdown to get over. Oh, wait, there's a holding penalty. That's fixed. We understand that. That's what's going on in gold and silver. We understand that. We understand 24.13 is not a real price for silver. How can it be? And again, most people don't even realize it's money. Now, I had an interesting talk with the communists yesterday. I showed them that video, and then I said, this is your problem. You think that this is that. And then I showed them, let's say you're an entrepreneur and you buy a shoe store and you lose. Well, should all the workers give you your money back? No, that's the risk you take of being an entrepreneur. And the light actually was going on in his head. He says, well, I'm going through a divorce now. So now he's starting to tell me the truth. I'm going through a divorce now, so that's why I don't have much money. But as soon as I'm settled, I'm coming to you about buying gold and silver. And I took that as a personal compliment that I've transformed a communist into gold and silver. So I was kind of happy about that. So we were talking because I didn't have power and I was plugging in my stuff. They had electricity at the gym and I didn't want to sit home in the dark. So that's what happened. So don't get frustrated with silver. It's just buy more of it. You don't understand. You're going to need it. You're going to buy cars and houses with it. So this is like you're buying an ounce of silver for $27. You can go to Kroger's. It's costing you $100 for steaks and chicken and tuna and whatever you're buying there. You can buy 4 ounces of silver. That's why I don't play poker. I'd rather take the 300 and buy silver with it than go risk it at poker. You know, what if I get aces and some guy flops 3 sevens on me? I'm going to lose $300. But if I buy silver, I can only make money. So that's what you have to realize. You can only make money with it. And people still in the stock market are such idiots, or in the bond market, or in the banks. They think the banks are all done. Oh, there's no more collapses. They're all about to collapse with this last interest rate he's doing, and it's fucking them too. And now we're in the quarter. You watch. Real soon, some more banks are going to go under, if they haven't already, and they're just hushing it. But this is a real bad situation. Like I said, we're in the Titanic. It's filling with water, but they're saying, "Oh no, everything's fine. Oh no, the water's. We've stopped the water." That's what. What's his name? Boog Powell just said. Oh look, inflation's back down to 2.5%. No, it's not. It's still 10-15%. You're just not looking at it accurately because you're looking at prices and not the fact you keep printing $1 trillion fucking dollars, giving it to the Ukraine, Social Security, Medicare, welfare. Where do you get that money from? You just print it and you just give it out. That's inflation. So you haven't stopped that. So that's what you got to realize. This is not. It did not stop. So the Titanic hit, and the water's still coming in. Now, when I was watching it, apparently they use bullshit bolts, which I think I've already brought up. So it should never have sunk in 2 hours. Not only that, it should never have sunk. If they used the right bolts, when the iceberg hit the area where the bolts were, they wouldn't have. So basically, the boat hits the iceberg, and all the boat hits the iceberg, and all the bolts along the line fall off. So it basically rips the bolts out of the steel because the bolts were cheap. And that's what happened. That's why it sunk. So you can blame everybody else, but if they would have used the better bolts, none of them would have came out. It would have just touched the iceberg and nothing would have happened. That's what happened. Now, I know some people say it's a gold thing. The richest guy in the world was on it, and he had gold, and that's what the submarine was looking for, the gold. And who knows? Maybe not. But just go to the gold store, go to a central bank, and buy gold. But my thesis is, if the central banks are buying gold, and Russia has 20,000 tons, and China's got 60,000 tons, they're not stupid. They might be communists, but they're not stupid. They know the value of gold. Now, just because Buffett doesn't understand gold, and Bill Gates would rather buy farmland, what would you rather have, farmland or gold? Well, you can't eat gold. Yeah, but I can use it to buy food, can't I? What am I going to do with my land? So I have no gold, but I got all this farmland. What am I going to do? How am I gonna heat my place? How am I gonna buy clothes and put gas in my car with the farmland? But if I had gold, I could take care of all that. I hate those arguments. They're so stupid. Well, you can't eat gold. I can't eat a Rolex either, but you know what? It's going to come in handy if I need to cash it in and get $60,000 of whatever the fucking currency is, or gold. Yeah, it's probably good to have that product. So that's where we're at. So the inflation's not down. They can sell it anyway, but I'm not smelling what they're cooking. Sorry, it's still good 10 to 15% because they don't include everything, and they're not explaining because the price of a car went down because they can't sell it because nobody wants electric and nobody can afford the high interest rates. I'll believe it when interest rates go back to 2-3%. Then, okay. So if you go buy a house or a car and you're paying 3% interest, I'll believe inflation's down. Interest at 8, 9, 10% is because of inflation, and obviously it hasn't gone down. And that's what I'm talking about, right? That's the key to inflation, not these prices. So the car, you can't sell the car and you lower the price because that's what Say's law says. If my price is too high, I got to lower it. If I have demand, what is your demand? So you're taking an item that there's probably no demand for, a car. Who's buying a car with 9, 10% interest on it? It's a $900 a month payment. Who's buying a car? Nobody's buying a fucking car. You buy it when the interest rates are zero. I bought mine in 2018 because I knew the rates were about to go up. I got in at 2% on a $24,000. I paid it off in 2.5 years. And now I own a car that I don't owe a penny on. And I'm renting an apartment, so I'm not losing money on my house as the interest rate goes up. Yeah, but I'm an idiot. Yeah, because I'm in an apartment. I should own a house. Yeah. Anyway, housing market, houses prices are being dumped. And once the foreigners sell to get out of dollars, you're going to really see a dump in the stock market and the house market. So that's all coming, it's all coming. BRICS will be the start of it, but they can't keep this now $35 trillion debt. You can't keep it. You've got to pay it off. You can't just ignore it. Yeah, I know I owe my house payment, but you know what? I'm not going to pay it. Let's just forget it. Yeah, I owe $2,000 a month for my house, but you know what? Let's ignore it. I'm not going to pay it. Yeah, and then knock on the door. We're going to repossess your house. What the fuck you think these other? Who do we owe it to? The Russians, the Chinese, the Swiss. They're going to come knocking at the door, going, "I need my money." What are you going to do? Yeah, then we'll go to a war over it. But basically, we have the worst government in the history of life, run by the worst president in the history of life, going on and running our. So we're like, we're the Denver Broncos with the worst coach in history, fucking up Russell Wilson. This is last year, right? So we're basically the Houston Oilers of the Denver Broncos. And that's who we're playing for, and we're wondering why we're losing every game. We're not Kansas City. We're not Joe Burrow. We're not the good teams. We're not Philadelphia. We're the bottom teams. That's the U.S. right now. And I'm telling you, look what San Francisco's doing. Look what Kansas City's doing. Look what Cincinnati's doing. Look at Philly. That's what we want to be. But that as a country, we're like the Lions, or we're Houston or Indy. That's our problem. So keep that in mind. Football again. The injury to Burrow looked like a pulled calf muscle or something. I don't think it's. I think he'll be. I don't think he broke anything. He was running and he pulled it. You could see it. So it's not really. It's set out a week or two. Why is he running in the first place? But you'll see a lot more of those injuries. What the guy Ramsey, what was he on Miami? The cornerback, he tore up his MCL. He's out for the year. That just happened today or yesterday. So these guys are not ready to run at full speed, and that's what's going to happen week one. So that's why I'm always leery week one, week two. They're not in shape. They get a lot of these hamstring, calf, MCL, ACLs because they are not ready to play. They're not at football shape. They're not at football speed. That's why I always cringe week one and week two. And they don't. Aaron Rodgers won't play in the preseason. Why not? He's on a new team. If anybody needs to play, he needs to play. Well, he might get injured. Oh, but he won't get injured week one. I mean, at least he'll have the timing down with the receivers week one. We've seen in the last few years, week one, they get shut out 28-0 because they don't have the timing, and then they get pissed, and then they win in week two. So we got to be careful with the Jets in week one with Rodgers. The only thing is he's got Lazard and he's got the other receiver from Green Bay, so they should be all right. And then we keep our eye on the injuries. As I say, this is a chessboard, and Rodgers uses his bishops and his rooks, and Lamar Jackson doesn't, and Hurts doesn't, and the good quarterbacks use all the pieces of the chessboard, and the bad quarterbacks want to be the rook and the bishop. So Lamar wants to run, which is the rook, and he doesn't use his receivers, which are the bishops. So he's playing chess with just he's the queen, and he's playing without four of the pieces. And you wonder why they can't win. Well, that's why. They don't care about the running, and they don't care about the passing. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the injuries, because it hurts the team when a good player is injured. God. When a good player gets injured, it hurts the team. That's why we watch for injuries. That's why we don't make the week one bets yet. I mean, I know I'm going to bet Army, but I'm not betting it till week one, and I'm going to probably bet New Mexico State. I'm not betting it till we get there. What if the quarterback gets hurt? I'm not betting New Mexico State if Pavia gets hurt. So let's wait till the week of the game. Look at the injuries. Everything's good. We're betting them, but there's no reason to bet it now. Nothing good can happen. At best case, the other quarterback gets hurt, and at worst case, your quarterback gets hurt. So you bet USC and Caleb Williams gets hurt tomorrow. No, you're fucked. Just wait until the week of the game. It's not going anywhere. Nobody's betting heavily on college football now. If they do, they're idiots. Only Warren Buffett would do that. So keep in mind, just because somebody's rich, Ray DiTilio, I hate that guy. He's clueless too. He's a billionaire. See, this is what I hate. Because he's a billionaire, he's automatically intelligent. And that's why the only guys I listen to are Egon and Alligator and Andrew McGuire. We'll have Andrew McGuire tomorrow. It's a Friday, but that's the only guys I listen to because they actually understand it. But Alligator is kind of, I'm questioning him because I don't know if he's Austrian or what, but he keeps kind of getting confused with the Austrian theory of the trade cycle. He doesn't fully understand it. And maybe I just had a great teacher who explained the Austrian theory. I wrote out, my thesis was how the trade cycle affected the stock market. And it basically was all due to the interest rate. So as they lower the interest rate, you buy stocks. As they raise the interest rate, you get out of the auto stocks, you get into the Hershey's and Coca-Cola and the stocks that you're going to have anyway, even though interest rates are up. And my guy got an A. He says, you want to get it published? I said, no, I didn't, but I wish I would have, so I could say, hey, I got this paper published. It's funny how these guys write books. Oh, look, I wrote this book, how to read a book. I mean, it's like, who gives a fuck? Watch my videos. It's far more beneficial than a book because I explain it. In a book, you don't really know what they're saying, but if you speak it, then you know exactly what I mean, or you can say, what do you mean? And I can say, this is what I mean. Bobby's, he's worried about it's $30, and I'm saying, don't worry about it. When it hits 2,000, you're not going to worry about 30. So it's being price fixed, but it's not going to last too much longer, and therefore, I think a lot of it might be Elon Musk keeping it down so he can build batteries because you got to have silver for the batteries and the solar. So they might be keeping the silver price down so they can make the cars and keep the battery costs down so they can sell it. Because once the silver hits $2,000 an ounce, he ain't selling he's got to include that in the cost of the car, and that'll end him. So he bought a lot. Probably they're trying to keep the price down for the manufacturing of it, but that's not going to hold. And it's joined with gold. So as our gold goes, so does silver. It's not like gold goes up, but silver doesn't. So right now they're keeping it down. They don't want you under the dollar. So let's understand it. Unlike the chess girl, you're keeping the gold price down so you don't run away from dollars into gold. However, for people that understand it, like my class, we think of it as good. They're holding the price of gold down for us so we can buy more and more and more and more. That's the point. In silver, Bobby, you should be buying 100 ounces every month. I mean, that's really what you have such an opportunity. So buy. You only got a month left because next month at this time, there'll be the Johannesburg conference, and they're going to say, we're coming out with a gold-backed currency, and it'll be out in September. And, geez, we need the price of gold and silver to go up a couple $1,000 an ounce. Then what are you going to do? See, you don't realize the opportunity you have of getting it at $27 an ounce. And when it goes, according to Egon, or whatever our nickname is for Egon, it's going to go, 200, 300, 500. Then you're going to go, fuck, I wish I'd have bought more at 28. That's all I'm warning you. It's not, will it go to 500? There's no risk on that. See, you have the only investment in the world that you have zero risk in, but you don't know you have zero risk in because gold and silver have never gone to zero, never will. Because of demand. What's a market? It's demand. You have demand right now for Amazon stock. We've got demand for football. We want to bet football. We have demand for my Canadian Club 12-year. As long as there's demand, there's a market. And as long as there's a market, this cannot go to zero. Let's say this is gold. This cannot go to zero. Right? You go into Targets or Walmarts or Meijer's or any place. This is, I don't know. I'll have to look at it. I don't normally go to the alcohol section, but I'll look at it and see. And if it's $50, $60, it's because there's demand. And there's always demand for gold and silver 6,000 years. It's never, ever not been demanded. So therefore, the only way anything goes to zero is there's no demand for it. How much demand is there for this? Every country's getting out of it. And as soon as they announce the gold, they're all going to say, fuck this, give me the gold. That's what they're going to say, all the countries, because they don't want to be harassed by the U.S., especially this idiot Biden. So there's going to be, if you have to choose between the gold and this, which one do you think is not going to have the demand? Well, it ain't the gold because you can't print the gold. It's going to be this, and we already see it's going down and down and down. That's why I show you clips of Egon and Alligator, because they're saying the exact same thing. Gold price is going to shoot up. They never say the gold's going to zero. Oh, everybody wants the U.S. dollar because it's a bunch of toilet paper, and they printed trillions of it, and it's all debt, and it's fiat currency. All they say is what? It's going to zero. It's going to collapse. They never say, oh, buy dollars. It's going to go up to 50,000. I don't think dollars have ever gone. The only way you make money with dollars is to put it in the bank and get a CD or get a money market or buy RITs. They've been really helpful for people. Anybody that's held the dollar has lost money, right? All these movies, the idiots put their money in the stock market. The idiots put their money in real estate trust. But I never hear of anybody putting their money in gold and losing a dime. I have never seen a movie where anybody's put their money in gold and lost. The Assault on Gold Wall Street. I never saw that movie. What do I see? I see Money Heist. They go and steal 90 tons of gold, which is 32,000 ounces a ton. So the professor steals 90 ounces and risks his life. They don't risk their life. What did they do? In the first one, they printed euros. So they went into the bank to print euros, and they got smarter. In the second one, they said, fuck that. We're going to go in and take the gold because that's the real value. So people steal gold. Maybe they steal money a little bit. But if they can, they steal gold. That's the whole point. That's what you steal. Why? Because they know it's a huge value because it's demanded. They don't sit there, the professor didn't say, well, gold might go down to zero, so we probably shouldn't steal it from the Bank of Spain because, it's not going to have a value. We want US dollars instead. No, he knows it's gold. It's going to have a value. I'm not going through the whole shit of robbing from the Bank of Spain to then watch it going, oh shit, professor, the price of gold went to zero. I mean, no, he stole it because they're rich and they know they're rich. They know that's it. It's going to go. The worst that's going to happen is it'll stay the same. So just think about it. All these countries buying gold. Nobody wants the dollar. That should tell you something there. But the real true value of a market is demand. That's why people want Canadian Club. That's why you want golf clubs. You want to go buy golf clubs, you'll see different prices. It's all based on demand. The more expensive the golf clubs, it's because of demand. Everything's based on demand. That's why we need a free market capitalism. Laissez-faire economics, Adam Smith, Say's law, is because that's the true market. It's a demanded market. But we got to demand it, not the government. That's what I was talking to the communist about yesterday, saying in a communist thing, the government runs the market, and you can't. We have to run the market by what we buy and what we don't buy. That's how the market's run. And we all want gold and silver, and it's so cheap that it's fooling people going, oh, silver's so cheap, but it's not going to have a value. And no, you're going to put at least 2 zeros after the $28, $29 you're going to buy it for. That's all I can say. Just Bobby should be glad it's under 30. Allows you to buy more and just keep buying and never stop. You can't lose in it. It can't go to zero. It's not possible. Because there'll always be a demand for gold. That means there'll always be a demand for silver. It's money. There'll always be a demand for money. The central bank digital currencies and Bitcoin. The central bank digital currency, if it ain't backed by gold, will go to zero. Bitcoin, I don't know what it is. It's not money because you can't use it everywhere. If it was money, you could go to Toyota and buy a Toyota. You could go to Mercedes. Money will do that. Believe me, we're going to do that with gold and silver. We're going to go buy a Mercedes and buy a Toyota, buy a house, buy a Ferrari if we want. That's what you're going to do with gold and silver, but you can't do that with Bitcoin. It's not they don't know what the price is of it. Well, they don't know what the price is of gold either. Well, it's a hell of a lot higher than we think it is. But Bitcoin, yes, I get it. You want to get out of the system because you realize the dollar's crap. I realize it too. But I took option B, which is gold. You took option A, which is Bitcoin, thinking, aha, I'll get into Bitcoin. It's going to go to 1 million and da-da-da-da-da. Because I'm too stupid to understand about gold, and I won't get into gold because I don't know. And I left the communists with this thought. I says, why doesn't nobody go into gold? It's the surest investment. You have zero risk. You have thousands of % return coming to us. I mean, the return on silver, if you buy it at 28, 100% returns 56. And then 28 more is a 200%. And another 20. So you're going to get a 300% return when it goes to 100. 300% at 100. That's a joke. Where else are you going to get 300% with no risk? That's the key point. There's no risk there. Why hold this? Why have it in the bank? There's risk you can't get it out. There's risk that it's worthless. There's risk if you're in real estate trust or annuities or stock market or bonds. You're in huge risk. Anything to do with that money in a bank or anywhere. Huge risk. So that's my point on it. The risk is just terribly high. So you got to be careful about it. And that's really, but if you have gold in your hand, you have what risk do you have? Yeah, somebody's going to steal it from you. Ain't nobody coming in. Has anybody come into your house and stole stuff now? I mean, there's little instances, but not normally. Somebody's coming in and doing it. And if it's just somebody, they won't be able to open the safe that you got the gold in anyway. So what's the difference? Anyway, so anything else? What else do we got? Baseball, Verlander won the other day. I tell you, just bet him. I don't know what McCullough did, or McClanahan. I keep calling him McCullough. Again, inflation is the bullshit figure. Watch the interest rates, not the prices. Why? Prices are not in any way indicative of what's going on with inflation. The whole point is when there's heavy inflation, the dollar's losing value. It takes more dollars to buy goods. That's why they watch the price. They're watching the effect, not the cause. So they're not watching the dollar. They're watching, a can of tuna went down. Oh, geez, inflation's down. That's what they're looking at. Got to tell Karl Marx, if you are smelling what the rock is cooking. Yeah. He reads Karl Marx. I says, you're such an idiot. I says, why would you admit that you read Karl Marx and you're a communism? He says, well, sometimes I do it just to look at people's reactions. But you are honest about it. You actually are, first he said, well, because of the corrupt guys, the corrupt owners or whoever, like Warren Buffett's a corrupt, or Zuckerberg. I go, but Putin's corrupt. She's corrupt. You got corruption in every system, but the capitalist system, Adam Smith, is the best system because it allows people to come in. It allows you to read the market, what the demand is, what your costs are, what you can sell it for. That's what you get out of it. You know all that. So therefore, that's what it gives you. That's why it's the best system. I know what this phone costs. I know what this... If I want to go into this, the prices give me the market. I can see this costs me $12.99. Should be about $8.99, but that's the inflation, right? The price went up on the magazine. That's 10% inflation. I mean, that's the point of it. You can see the inflation is basically you're printing the money to zero, and that's not that's what I'm saying. It's the Titanic. The water's coming in the ship. There's nothing you're going to do to stop it. Raising interest rates to 5% is not stopping the water from coming in the ship. So when they say that, it's bullshit. It's to try to blame it on, it's so they don't take the blame, because that's the government we have. They don't, Biden's son, no, it's not him. Epstein, no. This movie, oh no, there's no child slavery here. Bullshit. This is probably the worst place because of all these idiots who are in charge. So, I mean, it's just the government here is ridiculous. I don't know. I'll probably end up, I was watching something where I'm either going to Switzerland or Hungary was supposedly a real capitalist place to live. They just voted in a capitalist. But I see they have like 20% inflation. So let me see the gold standard, and then I'll move to Hungary or Switzerland. At least Switzerland understands the gold standard, and it's probably, and Egon lives there. So, So what Alligator should do is move there, because he lives in England, and he's crying about rent being high and heat being high. Well, move. See, that's what the real smart people is. You move to the good places. You're with the bad girl, you dump her and get another one and hope she's good. You live in a city, a shitty city or country, you move out of it. You move, you're capable of your freedom, so use it. Don't be in a bad, I got a bad wife. Well, why don't you divorce? Well, she's my wife. Who wants that? Get the fuck out of it. You're in a bad poker hand. Get the fuck out. Fold. Well, I got a pair of nines, and the flop came ace, king, queen. So the odds on me The odds on nobody hitting an ace, king, or queen are probably 0. I probably should fold the hand. That's what you do when you're beat. Just get the fuck out. So, I don't know. I don't see the benefit of living here where the currency is going to go to crap. And I have gold and silver. I want to be in a better situation. I don't know where that is yet, but like I said, it could be Hungary, it could be Switzerland. That's what we'll see. Maybe Puerto Rico, but probably not in Michigan. It's probably this is communist enough for me. I hate it, but I'm here for the cars. So now at Harley, I'm free. I'm looking into going to Vegas for a month, seeing if I can either rent an apartment or a hotel for a month. Like when I was in Alabama and I moved back here, I got at a Marriott and they gave me a monthly rate. So I want to see if I can do that in Vegas and just simply work out of Vegas and go like that. So we'll see about that. Just to see what it's like, but I don't know. It's pretty it's over market, let's say. They don't know what the fuck they're your casinos, but you're not selling the gambling. You're selling the hotel and the food, and the gambling's really expensive that nobody gambles there. Hello? What are you doing? I wish a manager would talk. I go to ask for the managers. They never want to talk to me. It's like Andrew McGuire. I challenge him. Why don't you have me on your show? I'll teach you more in an hour than any of your guests for the whole life of your show taught. And they're too scared. I don't know what the fuck. Just go watch my video. I mean, I got all these videos. Watch it. You might actually learn something. Bobby. So what else? So the economy, buy your gold and silver. They're keeping it low. Football, we got a month. I think we got the Hall of Fame game this weekend. Really, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we kind of know the teams. I'm just looking for who's quarterbacking Houston, Indy, Arizona, Washington. That's all I'm really looking for. I don't really give a shit about the fourth string cornerback who made a good play, like this tight end from the Lions, Laporte. He's a tight end from Iowa. Oh, he made a good catch in scrimmage. He's wearing shorts and a T-shirt. Who gives a fuck? He's not worried about Jack Tatum laying him out. Wait till he starts worrying about that. But who drafts a tight end from Iowa in the second round? What are you, fucking nuts? I didn't like the middle linebacker from Iowa they drafted, and I certainly didn't like the running back from Alabama. When Seattle got the running back from Georgia, McIntosh, in the 7th round, who's better than the Alabama guy. So I just, these guys are idiots. And that's why we bet against them, because we see how stupid they are, and it's all talent. Yeah, those games are weird. Indy and whoever they playing, it's almost impossible to pick those. Well, yeah, I mean, that's my point, Bobby. You're betting on third-string quarterbacks who aren't as good as Van Dyke and Rising and Caleb Williams and Penix and Bo Nix. I mean, they're not as good as Bo Nix. I mean, that's the thing. Who are you betting on? And then what kills me is the coach doesn't play the good players. It's like baseball. The Tigers sit there and they rest their players and they rest them and they all get hurt. All the pitchers get hurt. But yet it's 100 pitches every 5th day. How the fuck are you getting hurt? This is what I don't understand. How can they get hurt when they should be pitching every 4th day and going 200 pitches? If I'm manager of a baseball team, Bobby, you're going to be my batting coach. But I got 4 pitchers and they are pitching every 4th day. You get 3 days rest and you pitch, and you're going 8 innings. And then I'm going to go to Dennis Eckersley in the 9th inning to close it out. I'm not fucking around. I don't want 5 bullpen guys. I want 1. I want 2 maybe. And you know what? I want a bunch of Frank Robinsons and Pete Roses and Bobbies and Barrys out on my team, not guys hitting 175, so I can have 13 relievers on my team that are useless. Oh, I can't. They might hurt their arm. I can't. They got to go every 10th day. Once a week, you're going to pitch once a week for 35 pitches, and then that's it. Go rest. What do you mean you hurt your arm? How could you hurt your arm? You only pitched 35 pitches. Well, they got to pitch 95 miles an hour. What a bunch of crap. Richardson, BS, Trevor Lawrence. They all suck. I heard today somebody liked Trevor Lawrence. Oh, he looked good the last few games. Yeah, who did they play? Houston and Indy. See, this is the big fallacy when you listen to these idiots on ESPN or the radio. They'll say how good a guy looked. The Tigers do this all the time. They'll face a pitcher with a 22 ERA, and they'll get 10 runs, and they'll say how good they looked. Oh, they hit so good. They faced Shotani today, and Shotani, they shut him out. So against a good pitcher, they hit I wonder if they got any hits against the weak pitcher, but they don't differentiate that. And it's the same thing in football. Oh, Lawrence looked good his last 3 or 4 games. Did he? How good did he look in the first half of the San Diego game when he threw 4 picks? He looked like a superstar then, didn't he? Well, let's not. We won't talk about that. I hate the ones where they pull the guy out who's pitching the perfect game. I stopped eating baseball because of the bullshit like that. I agree. The Tigers, this Manning was a pretty good pitcher, 6 innings, no hitter, and they pull him. Are you fucking kidding me? And he had 83 pitches. What's your logic? How can you? Yeah, I understand, Bobby. How can you justify pulling the pitcher? What is he out there for? To throw 6 innings? He throws a no-hitter. They can't hit him. Why would you take him out? Now, Bobby, I know this answer before I ask the question. You're facing Verlander, Nolan Ryan, somebody like that. You're shitting in your pants. You're going, I can't hit this guy. And then they take him out for Joe Blow. You're smiling. You're like, now we're going to win the game. We can hit this guy. And I've seen it when I played 15, 16-year-old. You'd see this real fat, fuck, we can't hit the guy. And then this reliever would come in and you just smile. Him I can hit. And that was it. I just was like, you got to be kidding me. So that was it. But that's about when I started picking up golf when I was 16. It's funny, golf. I couldn't really golf. I never took lessons. I just taught myself and watched Jack Nicklaus. And then one day I'm up north at a Nicklaus course. And up in northern Michigan, they got really beautiful golf courses. If you're a golfer, Bobby, I recommend going up there like September and just taking a week and going up to Traverse City and that whole area. And they got Nicklaus and Gary Player and Arnold Palmer golf courses that are just fucking beautiful. You'd love it. And I hit a 6-iron. I always catch it a little fat. It was a big elevated green. And I had like 160 yards, and I pull out a 6-iron, and I caught it perfect. And it landed 10 feet from it, just landed on the green, and the feel of the ball hitting the green instead of missing the green, well, I could feel it. Like it just, and that was it. I made that one shot, and then all of a sudden I was a golfer, and all of a sudden I knew how to hit the ball crisp, and I could then feel it hit the green, and it was like, and that was a good putter. So I love that. But there was that first shot when I hit that 6-iron crisp, and I didn't, perfect divot, perfect shot, straight, solid. That was like the key to it. And but I recommend that for you, Bobby, because you're in Tampa. If you golf, come up to Traverse City and the northern Michigan, where Lake Michigan is. You'd fucking love it. And they're well, I don't know. There's a casino up there. I don't know if there's poker. But a nice lake, nice beaches, and take a boat and everything. So you'd like it. Anyway, so that's that. So keep buying your gold and silver. That's the best thing I can say. The inflation is here, and it ain't going to. The Titanic's filling up. It ain't. The water's not stopping. So put it that way. Stock market's going to crash. Why even entertain stocks? You certainly don't want to be in bonds. You don't want your money in the bank. They're about to start crashing. And these aren't opinions. These aren't maybes. These are what's going to happen. I'm seeing the big snowball come down the mountain, and nothing's going to stop it. And I'm saying, look, here comes this big snowball, and it's going to have this whole big thing. This is what's happening. And I see the inflation is the snowball, and I know it happens. I know the money goes to zero. It's done it like 5,000 times because it's not backed by gold. And they keep printing it. The more they print, the less it's worth. And now you have BRICS with the gold. It's going to say, fuck it, I want gold. I don't want this. And off they go. Nobody wants the dollar. It just takes a while. And then we know it's coming. And then the snowball hits. And you can't stop it. And that's what happens. So the gold's going up. You can't stop it. The dollar's going to zero. You can't stop it. So is the euro. So is the yen, which is Japanese. And we know that's what's happening. It's not, you can't stop it. So that's what's going to happen. So just prepare for it. So I'm trying to prepare you for it, where we know that's what's going to happen. And we know our out is gold and silver. That's our out. So it's very easy to plan for it and just wait and watch the Titanic go down and go, pass the popcorn. I want to watch the Titanic go down. So anyway, that's what's happening. It's Thursday night. Probably figure Saturday and Sunday, 11:30, 12. We got Andrew McGuire on tomorrow morning, which we will review. And how much physical do you own? Is Andrew Alligator? Well, see, Egon's got his channel now. It's that Switzerland Gold or whatever. He's Matterhorn Gold, but I found the gold. I found the channel. I think I showed it, but I'll show it again. It's Gold Switzerland. This is the channel, Gold Switzerland by Matterhorn Asset Management. And Egon is Matterhorn. So this was 3 days ago, which I think I watched. Yeah, when elephants and central banks are flying is when you sell your gold. So yeah, I watched that one. So I'll also probably be on next week. So anyway, this is the channel, Gold Switzerland. And you'll get Egon. Alligator really doesn't have a network. He just pops on when he's asked. And then Andrew McGuire is on As Good as Gold. And then every once in a while, it's that Aussie channel with the two bald guys with the toupees, the Aussies. They do everything but say Aussie, 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 oi, 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 which is from the poker guy. But this is Good as Gold. This is Australia. So I showed you Alligator last time. But they're not on as often as that. This Kinesis is for Andrew McGuire, but why he has guests, and
Every Monday evening,
they go
I'm
by.
gonna send you my top bullish and bearish trend alerts.
Fuck up. And the problem is they sit there and they'll say by popular demand. And who the fuck wants to see this idiot? What do you mean popular demand? And the guy, this is the greatest show ever every week. I'm like, dude, if you keep saying it, it isn't the greatest show ever. And I keep challenging this guys. Why don't you have me on? And they're too scared. So Igor has a new show tomorrow. I don't know when his show is. That was 3 days ago. So Monday, maybe he comes out Mondays. I'll let you know. And when is Alligator's video? Well, Alligator doesn't have that show. Sometimes Fridays, sometimes the weekends. I think when there's new, like this whole BRICS thing, he does write. So this gold money that I showed you. So this goldmoney.com, Alligator puts out Thursday and Friday. So that's what I was showing you. That's him writing. Friday's better, like Harry's saying, inflation will return. I wouldn't read the whole thing. It's like takes you a half hour, but I would just read the highlights. Inflation will return. Well, we know that. Then he'll come out with one tomorrow, which will be much shorter and sweeter. So if you want Alligator, it's www.goldmoney.com. But I like Alligators. I like watching versus that. He pops out of the lake like a true. Exactly. You just see the eyes. I did see one video where a jaguar ate an alligator, and the jaguar was very fast. And the alligator's like underwater, or he can see the eyes, and he jumps into the water, jumps on the rock, gets the alligator from behind, and puts the grip on his jaws. So the alligator's facing this way, and the jaguar is on top of him, holding the jaws, and he basically just crushed him. So don't bet against the jaguar against the gator. We don't have a jaguar. We got an alligator. We got an Egon, whatever we're calling him. Anyway, so be careful who you listen to. If you hear something, bring it here, and I'll clarify. If they talk about deflation, they're communists and Keynesians. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. There's nothing wrong with deflation. If money comes down on cars, it's because interest rates are going up, or houses. So it's not prices coming down when interest rates are going up. You want to know about inflation, watch interest rates. When the car loans go down to 3%, I'll say inflation's over. At this point, they're at 7 and 8. It's because of the inflation. They want to get paid back. There's no way it's over. And once the BRICS announce, look for gold to go through the roof. It's being held down by JP Morgan anyway. We know that, so we're just waiting for that to get up. So that's what's happening. He's going to open his big jaw and swallow in Peter Schiff and Karl Marx. Yeah, and Reichert and Maloney and all these idiots. Oh, God. This Andy Weintraub or whatever his name is, I'm so sick of him. I run a company, so I want you to buy gold because my company sells gold, and I can't explain anything, just that a lot of people are buying gold, so you should too. And the gold price should probably go up. But you know what? I don't know why. I don't know anything about paper gold and physical gold, and I can't explain it, and I can't explain why the price hasn't gone up, even though the demand's through the roof. I'm too stupid to understand derivative gold and paper gold keeping the price down. I don't understand that, so I can't talk about that. So I bitched because demand for gold's up, and the gold price should be up, but it's not. I don't know why. I'm too stupid. I'm running this gold company. And you're just like, oh, my God. How these idiots don't know or understand paper gold. That's the one thing I give Andrew McGuire is he does correct the guy saying, well, it's because of the paper market. We know Alligator understands it. We know Egon understands it. And we know – I love Egon. He says, I never worry about like he doesn't watch COMEX or like he doesn't look at the gold price. He says, I know the central banks, they're fucking it up and they're going to make gold, billions, it's going to be huge. And, so he's not really worried. He doesn't know what time it's going to happen. He knows it's going to happen. Like I said, we see the snowball coming down the mountain and we know it's going to wipe out the city. We just don't know at what point, at what time. We know the snowball is going to crush. That's a given and you can't stop it. We just don't know the exact time. And that's why It's frustrating. Like, so when you buy a stock, do you go, well, when's Microsoft? I bought it at 100. When's it going to hit 200? Are you asking that question? Are you expecting an answer? I mean, I love to see it because I get it in gold. When's it going to go up? When's it going to? Well, when is Microsoft going to go up? When is Amazon going to go up? So you can ask these questions about everything. You're watching a football game. When's San Francisco going to score a touchdown? Well, when Joe Montana's back out there. So, I mean, you can't really ask those specific questions because, so you're being a smart ass because you're saying, well, I've been waiting and it's supposed to go up and it hasn't, and it's supposed to go up and it hasn't. When is it finally going to go up? Is really what you're asking because you don't understand it's price fixed. Or you do understand it's price fixed, but you don't understand. So I don't want to get into it's price fixed, but you don't understand why it's price fixed, and you don't understand what's going to break the price fixed. And that's where BRICS is going to break the price fixed. Gold will have to go up, boom, and that's it. That's the end of COMEX. Now we're at market, and then once it hits market, you're going to see these high values. So that's what I'm saying is this is why COMEX is going to get busted. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. So with that, I think I am done. I'm going to relax, turn on some TV. And I don't know, I've been reading like Conference USA, where one thing to keep a note on, there's a lot of new teams. The James Madison, they were in there, Jacksonville State, and there's 4 or 5 new teams in Division I now. I don't know why, but they're in the week that the Sun Belt changed, Conference USA changed, Cincinnati and Houston joined the Big 12 now. So you've got all these changes going on. So just keep an eye on that. And then Wisconsin with the Lou Fickle and Mordecai, whole different team this year. So so that's what you're keeping an eye on. Miami running the air raid for Van Dyke. Utah will be the same. USC's running Oklahoma's offense. Washington will be a little bit better. Oregon will probably be a little bit better defensively. Florida State and LSU better. Georgia should win the title again. We just got to see his If the quarterback's not good, though, we'll just bet him under every week. And if the quarterback's as good as Stetson Bennett, then we'll just bet Georgia every week. Have you started putting together your Excel sheets for each team yet, Professor? Yeah, I mean, that's done a while ago. I don't have stats until the season starts, but I got each. That's what I'm saying. So I went into the conferences, take the Big 12, or what's this one? So here's Conference USA, and I added in the new teams. So there's Liberty is now in Conference USA. New Mexico State, they were independents. So Liberty and New Mexico State were independents, are now in Conference USA. Jacksonville State and Sam Houston are now in Conference USA. So that's what I put it in, but I can't do anything until I actually have stats to look at. I don't know the quarterbacks who are going to start, and I certainly don't know what type of teams they are. That's what we're going to find out. Jacksonville State without primetime probably going to be shit. And usually what happens with those teams, they have no defense. So we bet a lot against them with good offensive teams. So that's what we're trying to understand what type of teams they are. That's the goal. Once we understand the type of team, then we that's how we bet against them. So I'll be busy week 1 and week 2, or 1 and 1A, whatever. But I need the information. So I'm making my market, right? I'm making the market of Sam Houston. I don't know what they are, so I've got to look at the market. So if I go to Sam Houston last year and I look at their schedule, they lost to A&M 31-0, and then it's Stephen F. Austin, Eastern Kentucky, Utah Tech, Abilene Christian. What do I gain out of this? Now I see their defense was pretty good. They gave up 31 to A&M and 45 to Abilene Christian, who I don't know if any good. Now I see they start off with BYU, Air Force, and Houston. Well, how do I equate that to? I can't say, well, they had a pretty good defense. The best I can do is go, well, they lost to A&M, who couldn't score 31 to nothing. So that's where you're trying to, what do I do with Sam Houston? How do you misspell Bearcats? They're the Bearcats, Bearkats. The Bearcats, not Cats. Really? Did they misspell it, or does Sam Houston actually don't know how to spell Bearcats? Herb Kirkstreet predicted Bama as champions this year. Oh, well, that's nice. Good for Herb. So the bets get better as the season goes on. We learn the teams. We learn the market. Yes. So I'm calling the team the market. So like Wisconsin, we don't know their market right now because they changed coaches and they brought in actually a good quarterback. So are they going to be 3 carries and strong defense and winning the games 10 to nothing? Are they going to open their offense up? Now, my problem is at Cincinnati, he never opened his offense up. He played defense. So what we're looking for is data to figure out the teams. So right now we don't know. We know what Ohio State is and Michigan and Alabama and Georgia. We've got that already figured, right? We know USC and Utah. Those teams we don't need to learn. We do need to learn Miami because they went to an air raid offense. So are they going to score 50 points a game with Van Dyke? That's what we assume. But let's see what happens. But we don't know what UTEP and Middle Tennessee are this year. We have a feeling of New Mexico State found a quarterback and started scoring. So we think they're not the Z team they were a couple of years ago, and they were like scored 26, give up 23. They're actually like an even team. And so that's what we're looking for is the Z team that gets better, but Vegas doesn't realize it. So their spread is still as if they're a Z team, but they're not a Z team anymore. And UMass is a Z team. They scored 10, give up 50. New Mexico State's 26 and 23 now. Wait a minute, that's not a Z team. A Z team's 10 and 50. They're going to kill UMass, right? They got a good quarterback. They, I believe, are at home. They're at home against UMass. They beat them 23-13 last year. They started to get better. And that game was at UMass. Not that it matters, but now that they found the quarterback, look for New Mexico State to be much improved this year. So we're getting a huge miss by Vegas. They don't get that New Mexico State is not a Z team anymore. That's where we make our money. That's where I make you guys money is by saying, wait a minute, this is wrong. They're not the same team. That's why I rank the teams. I grade them. That's the whole key to betting is I'm figuring out the teams based on the defense and the quarterback and the points. So I've figured out the key things to look at. That's how you do it. But I stumbled into that because I couldn't use my trends. Too many changes now. So I couldn't use, New Mexico State as a home favorite or a road dog and all that. I threw that out the window because there's way too many changes. So I can't use that in college, and I can use it a little in the pro with Kansas City and Cincinnati, Pittsburgh maybe, where you got the same coach and pretty much the same quarterback. I use it, but I only weigh it maybe 10%. Unless it's Kansas City, I maybe weigh it 30%. Or Seattle is a dog and San Diego is a dog, then I do. It's consistent for 5 years. Then I use them as road dogs. I will bet them and I will lock them as road dogs on the trend because they're still like Herbert's been there, 3 years, 4 years now. So I got Herbert trends. And that's what you're looking for. But I'm trying to figure out, let's, for lack of a better term, the market on each team. And then once you figure that out, I don't know why my nose keeps itching. No, I do not do drugs. I think it's just warm in here. But that's really the key to it, is figuring out the team. In all sports, it's the same with girls. You're figuring out the girl. What is the stats? Is she pretty? But then we need more. That's like the quarterback. But do they have a defense? So she's pretty, but is she nice? And is she friendly? And does she seem to care? That's what you're looking at. And once you find that, once you've hit all the stats, then that's the girl you go after. But maybe you go after 3 or 4, and then you narrow it down to the 1 or 2. So when I say I date 3 or 4 of them, it's eventually to get to the 1 or 2 at the point, but not. I don't want to throw a girl who might be really good out by not pursuing and seeing and ranking her. So again, you're looking at the look, the personality. Is she caring and loving, and everything else? How does she treat you? And that's why I don't like American women. The Russian girls treat you like a king because your competition's Russian guys, so you have no competition. So, and they're all really they're very nice girls, the Russians. They want money like any other girl, so big deal. But like I was saying in the beginning, Bobby, Jenna wants to learn how to play tennis. Out of the blue, she's playing tennis every day now. And I'm not worried that she found a guy. I'm sure it's her girlfriend. I don't even care. Go play tennis. Get out of the house. It's good for your. She said her blood pressure is much better. She said, I need to eat more. Go eat more. So I'll send her money tomorrow. I send her like her food allowance. Not too much more. I sent her a lot to go to Berlin, and I was kind of pissed. Like, that was a lot of money I sent. I didn't even go. I was like, it's for your trip, so you can get your son and go to Berlin to see Natasha. I'm like, fuck, I mean, you got to pay for your own trips. I mean, that's I'll pay when I meet you, but when I'm not meeting you, I thought it'd be 300 or 400, and it was a lot more than that. But Berlin's getting very expensive. There's more inflation, more data. The bets get larger for the season in the sense that we get a better feel of the teams, or we might see injuries. So let's say we're betting on Jacksonville, we're betting against them, and Trevor Lawrence gets hurt. Well, now we're really teeing up against Jacksonville. Or we see Richardson starting to play for Houston. Now we're really going to load up against Houston. So that's really what we're looking at, is getting a feel for the team. We can see how bad they are. They're giving up 30 points a game. We're going to be, here comes Mahomes. Now we're going to really tee off against them. That's what we're really looking for, is that mismatch, the art of war. The first thing of the art of war was, your strength and your opponent's weakness, and your strength attacks their weakness. That's basically 90% of what I'm doing. I'm finding the strengths and weaknesses of the team, good defense, good quarterback, or I'm finding the weakness, no defense, no quarterback. Like UMass, they're going to give up 40 points to New Mexico State, and they can't do a shit thing about it. They don't have a good quarterback. They don't have a good offense. That's why they're a Z team. That's what I'm looking for, is a weak team against the strong, like New Mexico State's quarterback. So he's going to light them up, and there's nothing UMass is going to do about it. They can't score. That's not their strength. Their weakness is quarterback and defense. Here comes New Mexico State, can take advantage of their defense. And then what's Mass going to do? Maybe they get a couple touchdowns. But that's what we're looking for. So what I'm doing in the beginning is getting strengths and weaknesses. And I do it by the score, but I do it not just by score, but who did they play? So if they beat Rice, if Texas beats Rice 62-0, I don't really care. If they beat Oklahoma 62-0, then that's a different story. And we'll see that in the first week. I'm warning you that LSU, Florida State, you're betting strength against strength. Both teams have strong defenses. Both teams have good quarterbacks. Both teams have good coaches. You're not running against the weakness. You're playing strength in the strength. So what I'm saying is wait till LSU gets Ole Miss or something, or Arkansas State. Then you want to bet LSU. They're going to kill them. That's when you tee off is the mismatch, right? You're going into the weakness. That's what you're looking for, not necessarily you don't want to touch LSU, Florida State. If you do, it's take the dog because both teams are even. Then it's strength against strength. I'll take the points. That takes all the guesswork out of it. It's a good bet to take Florida State in a teaser, not stupid money lines. Get your 8.5. And if you lose, you lose, but you made a good bet. And that's all we can do is make a good bet. And I was 80% last year, and I'm hoping to do the same this year. This will be interesting working from home. I'll have time to really keep up with the football. So, it should be pretty good. And we'll see what happens. It was funny taking this meeting at the gym. I'm in this quiet area, and I'm in the gym taking a 2-hour Teams meeting on budgets and stuff. Anyway. But that's what we're trying to do. That's the whole key to everything in life is strength and weakness. What's the girl's strength and weakness? What's the poker strength and weakness? Football, blackjack, craps, all that shit. It's strength and weakness and knowing your strength and weakness also. So that's really it. And that's what we're looking to do. So I don't know Sam Houston's strength and weakness yet. I can see what they did last year, but they scored 40 points against Tarkington State. I never heard of them. That was it. Otherwise, it was 27 against Texas A&M Commerce. Stephen S. Austin, they beat them 17-16, and Utah Tech was 18-13. I got nothing. Sam Houston has no offense and not, a decent defense against these teams. I can't tell if it's a good win. All I know is A&M, they lost 31-0. That's all I know. And that's really it. That's what you're looking at. So I have no idea about Sam Houston. They got a quarterback who's a senior. And then you kind of read the little paragraph they put in here, which you have no idea if it's meaningful or not. So all you do is you go by score, and you go by. So if they beat Utah 35-10, I'm going to take Sam Houston. Well, they don't play Utah. They play Air Force, right? Week 2, they got Air Force. They beat you. If they beat Air Force 45-10, we're betting Sam Houston the whole year. But if they lose to Air Force, as I predict they will, 45-10, then it tells us they're in big trouble. They got New Mexico State, Liberty, Utah, LTech, Western Kentucky. So they're in trouble. They got some pretty good offensive teams they're playing. So really, we just got to find out. It's their first year in the league. Their coach is 85-27, so he's a pretty good coach. Actually, for 29 years, he's 259-100. I don't know if that's good. This is Huntsville, Texas. I don't know. So again, here's a coach, K.C. Keeler, 85-27 in 9 years. It's like Bo. Okay, so what is that? That's against Division II. That's like Scott Frost was great at. I heard a story about Scott Frost. So he's at Central Florida, and he's stupid enough to go to Nebraska. You're going undefeated because you had Mackenzie Milton. So he has a chance for Joe Burrow to go to Nebraska from Ohio State. And he goes to Joe Burrow. He says, I want to make you a safety. You're no quarterback. So, Scott Frost has the eye of not of a tiger, of a blind man. And then it shows you a lot about Ohio State, how stupid they are. You have Joe Burrow next to Joe Montana. There's Brady, Montana, 1, and then you got Mahomes, 2 with Burrow. And nobody can recognize Burrow as the superstar at Ohio State. No, they went with JT Barrett. How did that work out? Yeah, you could have had Joe Burrow, and you can't recognize his talent because you run this bullshit offense that doesn't do anything in the pros. And the best thing Joe Burrow did was go to LSU with Jamar Chase and Jefferson. I'd like those two as your receivers. No wonder they won every game by 50 points. Jefferson and Chase as your wide receivers. Oh, my God. They put up 50 points on Alabama. You couldn't stop them. So anyway, it shows you a lot that Ohio State has no eye for a real quarterback when you had Joe Burrow. It just blows your mind. And then Scott Frost, well, he's out of a job, isn't he? He's picking corn in Nebraska, I think. What an idiot to even say that. You got to be out of your mind. Now, maybe that made Joe Burrow like Tom Brady. Oh, you don't think I'm any good? He gets a chance to go to LSU, and all of a sudden he lights it up. Like Brady, I'm a 7th-round draft pick, I'll show you, and he lights it up in New England. So maybe if he was the first pick in the draft, he wouldn't have done anything. You get that chip on your shoulder. I don't think I'd ever draft a quarterback with the first pick. Even Rising, I'd make him sweat a little bit to get mad, and then he'll play better. Yeah, Jefferson is the real deal. It's too bad he's stuck with Kirk. Yeah, Jefferson's the best. I'd say him and Chase are 1-2, far over everybody else. It's not even close. Yeah, I agree with you. Jefferson's stuck at Minnesota. I noticed the guy on Buffalo got out of there, but now he's a head case at Buffalo, whatever the receiver is. Then Adam Thielen's at Minnesota. So Minnesota knows how to draft. Oh, where were the Lions when there was Jefferson? Oh, yeah, they're drafting tight ends from Iowa. Oh, yeah. How did you miss that? How could you miss Jefferson? And I said it. Go to my draft video. I tell you right away, Chase, Jefferson, Burrow, right. Go listen to them, man. I understand what I'm looking for. So when I watch a college game, I know what I'm looking for. And I know what I would pick. I mean, I'd be a dynamite GM, but I can't argue with these morons. Anyway. Oh, okay, Adam Smith. So I guess that's it. It's 10:30. Yeah, I gotta get going. He got outplayed by Daniel Jones at home and got sent home in playoffs. Embarrassing. Yeah, Stephon Diggs. Yeah, exactly. How do you – well, that's the thing, but that's the weakness. Their defense sucks. That's the problem with Minnesota. And that's the problem with Detroit and the Bears and Green Bay has a decent defense. That's why I don't think the Lions will do anything. They don't have the defense. Yeah, next class will be Saturday, 11:30, 12. And I think tomorrow, I don't know. I tried doing it at like 2 o'clock. I got nobody. So I go to the Gold Store. I go to the pool because it's near the Gold Store. And we should have all the electricity on, the lights. It's a bitch when the lights are out, the traffic lights, because then it's one, and you always get behind a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. It's like he goes, they go, we go. And it's like they're going, but then he's not going. And then I hate when the two cars go back to back. So this guy goes and this guy, the trailer goes, and they sneak two by. It's like, come on, dudes. And then my favorite is when it's like a school and there's nobody in the school and the other one, it's not even a road. And you come to it and they're stopping and you're like, there's nobody there. It's the school. There's nobody there. Just keep driving. You don't have to stop if there's no traffic. You only stop when there's traffic to make it a four-way. Unbelievable just how bad the drivers are here. I hate that. Anyway, we'll see how they are in Switzerland. We can take the trams all day and it won't cost us anything. You don't need a car with that. Well, you're welcome, Bobby. Nice to see you here. And buy some fucking gold already. You're going to regret it. When you add a zero to the price, you're going to say, God, I wish I would have bought it. Or at least buy a bunch more silver. Don't be satisfied. It's 2,000 an ounce silver you're buying for 28. I don't know how you can't just keep eating it. I mean, it's a joke. And there's no risk. It ain't going to zero. You have no risk of losing money. And what are you doing? You're paying for it with this that you know it's hit the iceberg and it's filled with water. So even if you're holding this, you're more apt to be fucked than holding the silver, right? The silver's got no risk, but the dollar does. So if you're just buying the silver, as Alligator says, to get out of the toilet paper. So if you have this, you're getting the silver and gold to get out of this, number one. Then you'll start seeing the evaluation because of BRICS raising the price of gold and silver up. But you're getting out of the green. So I don't know how much green you have, but you want to get out of the green as quick as you can because it's losing value. That is going to zero, right? So that's your sure bet. That's going to zero. I got to buy gold and silver, or I'm going to hold on to green till it's worth nothing. So anyway, so that's class today. I hope you learned. I hope you ask questions if you don't understand something. I try to be pretty articulate and pretty much down to a level where I can explain it. Unlike this chess girl, who I keep hammering her, like, what the fuck are you doing? Would you want to watch some girl play chess? Why would you watch that? You don't really want to see her play chess, especially with 5-minute clock and they're going real fast. So you can't even see what they're doing. Would you watch that? I don't get it. I said, talk about your theory and have the other person talk about their theory. This should be a class. This is not, nobody wants to watch you fucking play chess. It's boring as hell. I'd rather watch golf. I was watching bowling. I was watching Marshall Homan, which is a lot more exciting. I'll tell you, you haven't seen it till you watch somebody throw a 300 game. You watch Johnny Petragula's 300 game is more exciting than any game of chess by a mile. All right, everybody. Have a nice day. See you Saturday. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Beware, the inflation is not 3%. They're looking at prices, not the dollar, and just look at interest rates. Keep your eye on interest rates. That'll tell you all you need to know about inflation. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. www.teaserking.com. The website. You can purchase football. I've got a buyer already, but it's early. I would say soon. I mean, by the middle of August. And then if you want to pay in payments or some sort of deal, contact me. Not a problem. But I do accept tips when I make you money. All right. Have a nice day. www.teaserking.com. I will see you Saturday morning.